Chapter 1049. Since he wasn't coming, there were two possibilities. Either he didn't inform them, or he did inform them, but they didn't take it to heart. I like the latter. Since he doesn't even care about the emperor of the gods' realm, then he has the qualifications to play with me. I hope that he won't disappoint me when the time comes. It would be best if he's from the Empress's side. I speculate that the plot should be like this. Empress's family is actually the lowest ranked family member. Then, she was framed by someone and appeared on Earth. The following plot was that the deity would bring along the Empress and step on those arrogant leaders, allowing the Empress to show off and slap their faces in all kinds of ways. Haha, thinking about it, it really is a bit interesting. At that time, my Empress should be very happy, right? I'm really looking forward to it. While thinking about it, a smile appeared on Yi Hua's face. When Huang Feidi saw this smile, his face immediately sank. You can still smile at a time like this. Either he had a card up his sleeve, or he was a fool. What is it that caused Prince Yi to smile so brightly? Why don't you share it with me? Huang Feidi chuckled. Yi Hua slowly retracted the smile on his face. Your Majesty, there are many different kinds of situations when one is smiling. Then, what is the meaning of Prince Ye's smile? Huang Feidi liked to play chess with people like Yi Hua, and he felt that Yi Hua was a decent opponent. Complacent. Yi Hua didn't pretend in the slightest and said slowly. Huang Feidi didn't expect that Yi Hua would say such a thing. What are you so proud of? What's there to be proud of? Your woman is about to be slept by my son, and you're still so proud? F***ck me. It was incomprehensible. Huang Feidi did not believe it. He asked in a low voice. Lord Yi, back then, you and Qian Yuqing were a match made in heaven. Today is Qian Yuqing's wedding. Don't you have any thoughts? Oh, what does the emperor want this prince to do? Are you trying to kidnap the bride? Yi Hua asked. Shan Junren, who was at the side, listened quietly. Every word was filled with killing intent. Huang Feidi was stunned for a moment. Then he laughed out loud. Prince Yi, you really know how to joke. Your Majesty, if I snatch it away from you, will you let me have it? Yi Hua asked gravely, and his expression gradually became grave, seemingly not seeming to be joking. Moreover, the volume of this sentence was not low. At least everyone heard it. The whole place was silent, and only the sound of gongs and drums could be heard approaching. No one would have thought that Prince Yi would actually directly ask. That was way too daring. Although he said it with a joking tone, but he didn't give me any face at all. Huang Feidi never expected that Yi Hua would ask him directly. Damn it. You actually put this emperor on the spot. With Yi Hua's meritorious service this time and his reputation, there was no reason for Huang Feidi to kill him right now. Furthermore, this topic was brought up by Huang Feidi himself. This was the same as shooting himself in the foot. Prince Yi must be joking. Huang Feidi revealed an ugly smile. It was very difficult to touch the Yi clan now. Just like in the past, he was in a very passive situation. Yi Hua, keep pretending. This emperor knew that you would definitely make a move today. At that time, he would eradicate the entire Yi clan. Yi Hua did not say anything. He raised the wine cup and raised it, then gulped it down in one gulp. This caused Huang Feidi to let out a sigh of relief. At least he has given me face. If he had insulted me just now, then Huang Yun's figure quickly appeared in everyone's field of vision. Everyone's faces didn't look like they were giving their blessings at all. Instead, they all had serious expressions on their faces. Or perhaps they were nervous. How was this like a wedding? It was more like someone was being sentenced. Right now, Huang Feidi was one of the nervous ones. He was constantly looking at Yi Hua. Snatch the bride. Snatch it. If it is a man, then snatch it. Yi Hua silently watched as the wedding procession got closer. Of course, there was also the bride. The most beautiful woman in the god's realm. The woman who even secretly touched my bed that day, and said that I was the one who made the move first. What a liar. Huang Yun also felt that the atmosphere at the scene was a bit heavy. Right now, it was the most crucial moment. Whether Yi Hua snatches the bride or not, the result would be known soon. However, right now, Yi Hua was pouring himself a small cup of wine, and taking a sip from time to time. He was extremely leisurely, as if he didn't care about anything at all. This caused Huang Feidi to be very unhappy. Continue pretending. Let's see how long you can continue pretending. As the wedding procession got closer, Huang Yin took the lead to get off the horse. Stepping onto the red carpet in the middle of the wedding procession, all of the civil and military officials stood up to congratulate Yi Hua. In actuality, all of them were feeling nervous in their hearts. Qian Yuqing saw Yi Hua from far away. He came today, and he is currently sitting below the emperor. He seems very natural. There wasn't a single bit of sadness on his face, as if I am just air. Qian Yuqing didn't lose her temper. She seemed to have accepted her fate. Since Yi Hua doesn't care about me then, I don't have to care about myself anymore. Yuqing? Yuqing? Yuqing. Huang Yin stood at the side and called out lightly. Just now, I have already called out to my woman a few times, but my woman actually didn't have any reaction. She seems to be lost in her thoughts. This caused Huang Yin to be very angry. What else can Qian Yuqing be thinking about? She is definitely thinking about men. And she is still thinking about my enemy Yi Hua. The wedding is right around the corner, and she is actually thinking about other men. Huang Yin felt that he was about to lose control of himself. Suddenly, he wanted to ruthlessly give this woman a slap. Slut. Just you wait, see how I am going to torture you tonight. Who asked you to think about other men? In the past, I liked you and spoiled you, but you didn't put me, Huang Yin, in your eyes at all. Just you wait. I am going to torture you for the rest of your life. Qian Yuqing came back to her senses and slowly got off the car. However, she didn't place her hand on Huang Yin's palm. Although it was just a small detail, everyone was looking at it. Huang Yin's expression became even worse. He felt as if countless slaps were ruthlessly slapping his face. But right now, I still have to pretend to be very happy and make Yi Hua jealous. I mustn't be angry. I mustn't be angry. This woman, I will properly torture her later. A red ribbon was immediately sent over respectfully. Qian Yuqing and Huang Yin each held onto one end of the ribbon, symbolizing that their hearts were forever united. However, that did not exist. It was impossible for the hearts of these two to walk together. It was a tragedy from the very start. Huang Yin tightly held onto one end of the ribbon. I am currently a supreme overlord. How high is my identity? Even if you are the most beautiful woman in God's realm, you still have to kneel down and lick me. Even if my shoes are dirty, letting you lick them clean is your honor. Yet you actually dared to show me such an attitude today. Fine. You didn't enjoy the blessings and insisted on suffering. After today, let me tell you this, Qian Yuqing, I will make you wish you were dead. Even if Qian Yuqing, who was at the side, knew what Huang Yin was thinking, she didn't care. In any case, she didn't plan on living past tonight. Not giving face just now was also on purpose. The officials seemed to have sensed it as well, and all chose to remain silent. If nothing happens today, I will go eat shit. The eunuch at the side had a charming smile on his face as he shouted out loudly. The wedding ceremony begins. Wait. End of this chapter. Chapter 1050. As these two words rang out, everyone felt their hearts skip a beat. As expected, it had come. Snatch it. When Huang Yin heard these two words, he was delighted. However, this joy gradually faded, and his face turned solemn. Qian Yuqing didn't know what she was feeling right now, but she was so happy that she wanted to cry. This dead man. Are you trying to scare Yuqing to death? Bastard. He was much worse than before. When Huang Feidi heard these two words, he raised his hand up high. However, he didn't put it down. The smile on his face was very stiff. It was as though what was happening right now was different from what he had imagined. Shan Junren was also very shocked. This is truly something that I am unable to guess, just what is going on. Yi Hua silently drank the wine, and there was not a single ripple on his face. However, Yi Shan, who was sitting below, was in pain. His daughter had actually stood up. He even shouted out those two fatal words. My obedient daughter. How can you shout out these two words? Don't you know, if you shout out these two words, our whole family will be done for. It must definitely be that unfilial son Yi Hua. Yuanqing was such an obedient child. Yet this unfilial son of his immediately led Yuanqing astray the moment he came back. He even helped him snatch the bride. Bastard. That's right. It was Yi Yuanqing who had shouted these 2 words. Last night, Yi Hua called Yi Yuanqing over to his room. At first, Yi Yuanqing was very confused, but after listening to his big brother's words, he was dumbfounded. She thought that big brother really didn't care about big sister-in-law. It turned out that he had this idea. It was simply too bad. You're going to scare sister-in-law to death like this. Sister-in-law is so pitiful. Although Qian Yuqing saw that it was Yi Yuanqing who was stopping them, Qian Yuqing knew that this was Yi Hua's idea. Right now, Qian Yuqing had decided that she would definitely fiercely smack Yi Hua's butt. Furthermore, smack Yi Hua's butt until it becomes swollen. Who asked him to scare me like that? Just a moment ago, I was about to die, and suddenly he gave me such a big surprise. Bastard. What a bastard. So annoying. Shan Yu was a little uneasy now. This Yi Yuanqing was given to him by the emperor. Logically speaking, she was already his fiancée. If they were to get into trouble today, the Shan clan would also be in trouble. Thinking of this, Shan Yu couldn't help but look at his father. Shan Junren also noticed his son's worried gaze and almost cursed in his heart. This Lord Yi. It was indeed a good plan. He didn't want to do it himself, but let his sister do it. Damn it. A trace of a smile appeared on the corner of Yi Hua's mouth. When I, the Supreme Overlord, do things, why do I have to do it myself? There were very few people who could make this Supreme Overlord act personally. Wives were one of them. Yuanqing, what are you doing? Quickly sit down. Yi Shan hurriedly said. This is a crime of great disrespect. However, Yi Yuanqing didn't sit down. Dressed in velvet armor, Yi Yuanqing appeared righteous and awe-inspiring, as if he wouldn't retreat from any evil. At this moment, Yi Shan even had the thought of dying. This evil unfilial son. Nothing good would come out of his return. At this moment, Huang Feidi seemed a little embarrassed. Originally, as long as he released his hand, the person he had arranged would appear. However, the one who said that was not Yi Hua. Great. Yi Hua. Grow a brain. To actually let his sister do it, not bad. Not bad. General Yi. Huang Feidi shouted in a deep voice. His tone was filled with hostility. Since they were prepared to shed all pretense of cordiality, there was no need for him to stay any longer. Yi Yuanqing cupped her hands and shouted, Your Majesty. What did you mean just now? Huang Feidi squinted his eyes and his killing intent was obvious. Yi Hua, if you don't give me a good explanation, then I, the emperor, will definitely make a move on your sister. Yi Yuanqing said respectfully. Your Majesty, this marriage cannot be married. Along with Yi Yuanqing's words, everyone present went into an uproar. He said it. He really said it. Something big is going to happen today. As the person involved, Huang Yun was about to reach the limit of his endurance. Just now, I was already humiliated by Qian Yuqing. And now, this damned Yi Yuanqing wants to humiliate me as well. I wish I could crush Yi Yuanqing's neck and twist it into the shape of a fried dough twist. Right now, I am a Supreme Overlord. Do you even know what a Supreme Overlord is? A single finger of mine is enough to make your soul ascend to the heavens. However, Huang Yun knew that he mustn't expose his strength. If he were to expose his strength, the consequences would be unimaginable. Right now, Qian Yuqing was very happy. Yi Hua, this bad fellow, I will teach him a lesson tonight. Huang Feidi took a look at Yi Hua and discovered that Yi Hua was quietly drinking wine with a very calm expression. Yi Hua's current appearance made Huang Feidi very unhappy. Yi Yuanqing, do you know what kind of crime it is to obstruct a royal wedding? Huang Feidi was prepared to casually kill Yi Hua as well. Your Majesty, this subject naturally knows, but this marriage still cannot be married. Everyone completely didn't know why Yi Yuanqing was so firm. Could it be that it is because Prince Yi is backing him up? Yi Shan, who was sitting at the side, had an ashen expression. This time, I am really going to die for sure. Why? This marriage cannot be married. Huang Feidi questioned coldly. This could be counted as his final question. Yi Yuanqing slowly walked to the center of the hall and swept her gaze across the officials, displaying the demeanor of a female general. This caused Yi Hua to be very satisfied. My younger sister's aura is not bad. She will be able to take on great responsibilities in the future. Yi Yuanqing could be seen suddenly pointing at Huang Yun and shouting out, "Because the ninth prince killed his brother, such a despicable person is not worthy." Along with Yi Yuanqing's words coming out, everyone present took in a breath of cold air. Even Huang Feidi's expression became grave as he looked towards Yi Hua again, not knowing what Yi Hua was trying to say. Shan Junren, this old fox, was also calculating in his heart. I must not get myself into trouble. Therefore, right now, I can only hope that Yi Yuanqing will have some concrete evidence and not spout nonsense. In actuality, in the past generations of the royal family, killing each other for the position of crown prince was a very normal thing. However, everyone did it very cleanly. Even if you knew about it, you would still admit it. Back then, did Huang Feidi not kill many people? He also killed a lot of his brothers in order to ascend to the throne. Using the tradition of the past generations, if there wasn't a lot of bloodshed in the battle for the position of crown prince, then it would seem that the dynasty wasn't prosperous enough. After all, there wasn't anyone else who was fighting for the position of crown prince anymore. In actuality, Huang Feidi had also thought about whether or not it was Huang Yun who killed Huang Li. Even if it was, Huang Feidi wouldn't expose it. After all, this was also a kind of ability. Sitting on the position of crown prince, one had to be decisive. However, you did it, and you were discovered by someone else. That's no good. Therefore, in the battle for the position of crown prince in the past generations, the crown prince would always be assassinated stealthily. Just when Huang Feidi wanted to say something, Yi Hua said faintly, "Yi Yuanqing, the ninth prince has boundless virtue. How could he possibly do such a despicable thing? You better not falsely accuse a good person." Huang Feidi's lungs nearly exploded from anger. "Are you two siblings here to put on a show? Damn it. Your Highness. Every single word that I said is the truth. I don't dare to be the slightest bit impudent." Yi Yuanqing shouted out sternly, appearing to be very confident. Huang Yun had also predicted this scene before, but he felt that he had done it very secretively. Dead men tell no tales. End of this chapter. Chapter 1051. After all, not even Huang Li's ashes were left behind, and there was no one at the scene. However, looking at Yi Yuanqing's attitude, it was as if there was an iron-like evidence, and Huang Fei didn't feel good about it. "General Yi, take out the evidence then. If there is no evidence, that is slandering the royal family, and the 9 generations of your family will be exterminated." Huang Feidi didn't give face anymore. "Since you all want to mess with me, I will kill everyone in your Yi family." Hearing what the emperor said, everyone who was present took in a breath of cold air. As expected, the emperor is going to attack Yi family. Even Prince Yi is going to be killed. Today is going to be a bloody wedding. Yi Hua still had an indifferent expression on his face. Huang Feidi really wanted to know what exactly could make Yi Hua change his expression. Hearing what Huang Feidi said, Yi Shan felt a bit dizzy. Yi family is going to be finished today. Right now, Shan Junren was also a bit panicky. Will the emperor take this opportunity to make a move on me? After all, the marriage that was promised previously was also very suspicious. Yi Yuanqing said gravely, "Your Majesty, I naturally have evidence." "Say it then." Huang Feidi said coldly. Yi Yuanqing cupped her hands and said, "That day many soldiers saw it. The eldest prince took the initiative to seize supreme, for your Majesty. However, the ninth prince was jealous and slandered the eldest prince for having selfish motives, threatening to kill the eldest prince. In the end, both of them disappeared, and only the ninth prince came back and said some words that can't be proven. These words don't have any credibility at all. Furthermore, in this war, the ninth prince's orders were wrong as well. He made the eldest prince and I be cannon fodder. And after knowing that we defeated the enemy, he brought people to snatch the credit. Such a person isn't fit to be our prince, and shouldn't exist in the royal family." After hearing that, Yi Shan really wanted to faint. "You talked for so long, and in the end it was all your own guesses. It's over." A lot of people had the same thoughts as Yi Shan, but these are just my guesses, they aren't evidence at all. "Too careless." Huang Yun said faintly, "General Yi, I know that you have prejudice against me, but this misunderstanding is too big." The eldest prince hit himself very deeply. And after catching me unprepared, he escaped in the end. This person is the one who harbors unfathomable intentions. On the other hand, the relationship between the eldest prince and Prince Yi is not bad. And during those few days, they were together every day, seemingly discussing some secret. At this moment, everyone's gaze turned towards Yi Hua. The ninth prince's brain was exceptional after all. He actually counterattacked, truly formidable. He actually said that Prince Yi and the first prince were conspiring to seize supreme. Although it was also a guess, there was nothing wrong with it. After all, Yi Yuanqing was also guessing. Everyone was guessing, so they wouldn't be at a disadvantage. Qian Yuqing was a little worried now. For the ninth prince to be able to get to this point, he was not an idiot. Yi Hua, you have to be careful. If you really can't do it, then forget it. Yuqing has already understood your intentions, and I don't have any regrets in this life. But now that things had come to this, how could they stop just because they said so? That does not exist. Huang Yin didn't plan to let Yi Hua off and said faintly, I'm afraid that Prince Yi knows where the eldest prince is right now. Tell me. Maybe Father Emperor can look at our past relationship and spare your mother's life. Huang Yin's meaning was very simple. The entire Yi clan had to die. When Yi Hua heard such a threat, his eyes slightly narrowed. To actually use my own mother to threaten me. Only you, Huang Yin. Prince Yi. Is there such a thing? Huang Feidy questioned coldly. Just now it was you two siblings who were performing a double act. And now, it is us father and son, right? Yi Hua. Today is the day you die. No matter how you run, you won't be able to run away. Yi Hua suddenly took out a cigarette and lit it up. This caused everyone to be very puzzled. What is this thing? It will even give off smoke, and I have to breathe it in and then breathe it out. With a single look, I can tell that it is not a good thing. Your Majesty, there is something that I would like to ask you. Yi Hua breathed out a mouthful of smoke and said faintly, Prince Yi, please speak. Huang Feidy had a feeling that right now, Yi Hua seemed to have given up on resisting, and was already at the end of his rope. Yi Hua said slowly, during those days at the front line, I sensed that someone was acting suspiciously. I wonder if he was sent by your Majesty? Hearing Yi Hua's words, Huang Feidy's expression changed slightly. Did Jackdaw's tracks get discovered? How is that possible? It shouldn't be. But since Yi Hua said it, he must have sensed something. Your Majesty, if the monarch wants the subject to die, the subject has no choice but to die. However, there needs to be a reason, right? Yi Hua looked at Huang Feidy and said lightly. Right now, Huang Feidy was facing two choices. He could either admit to assassinating Yi Hua, or deny it. If he were to admit to assassinating a meritorious subject, it would be a fact. If this matter were to be spread out, where would his face be? Huang Feidy wasn't willing to see such a thing happen. Needless to say, he would definitely deny it. I'm afraid that Prince Yi has misunderstood something. Why would I kill you? Prince Yi, you are thinking too much. Huang Feidy squeezed out a trace of a smile and said. Everyone present knew that the emperor wanted to get rid of Yi Hua, but what he lacked was an excuse. Right now, the excuse was about to arrive, and he mustn't drop the ball at this moment. Even if it was a pile of shit, he would still close his eyes and eat it. Then, Your Majesty, why did you send someone over? Yi Hua asked faintly. Actually, the person that I sent over is naturally to protect Prince Ye's safety. Isn't that? Prince Yi, you are sitting here safe and sound? Huang Feidy said with a slight smile. Right now, Huang Feidy's words made sense too. In order to protect a loyal subject, the emperor went through so much trouble that he didn't even send someone to protect his own son. This was something worthy of praise. Yi Hua went into a daze, then laughed lightly. So that's the case. Your Majesty, why don't you call him out so that I can properly thank him? Huang Feidy really didn't know what Yi Hua was doing. He was a bit confused. That person is currently not in spiritual capital. Huang Feidy said faintly. Jackdaw's identity was rather sensitive. It was best for him not to show himself. It's fine. I feel that this person is very strong. As long as Your Majesty gives the word, he will definitely come to the scene. Or could it be that Your Majesty doesn't want him to appear? Huang Feidy's gaze gradually became serious. This Yi Hua is doing everything he can to make Jackdaw come out. Could it be that he is plotting something? However, if I don't call Jackdaw out right now, it would seem like I don't dare to do so. All right. Huang Feiди agreed. He then sent a voice transmission to call Jackdaw over. Jackdaw's figure gradually appeared in the air. With an outsider present, Jackdaw still had to salute. Greetings, Your Majesty. You may rise. This Prince Yi wishes to thank you for your revenge. Huang Feidi said lightly. He wanted to see what Yi Hua was trying to do. It was nothing much. Jackdaw said lightly. Hearing Jackdaw's words, Huang Feidi felt relieved. Jackdaw has followed me for so long. How could he possibly betray me? What's more, it's impossible for an overlord to betray me. Thank you, my brothers, for the tickets and the rewards. Thank you very much. End of this chapter. Chapter 1052. Yi Hua looked at Jackdaw, cupped his hands, and pretended to thank him. The courtiers below were also praising the emperor. He actually sent people to protect Lord Yi. The sun and moon could really prove his sincerity. Your Majesty, this person should be your trusted aide, right? Yi Hua asked curiously. That's right, this empress naturally believes in him. Yi Hua nodded his head. What a pity, what a pity. Huang Feidi paused and said softly. Prince Yi, let's get back to business. All right, Yi Hua said calmly. Has Prince Yi colluded with the first prince? Asked Huang Feidi coldly. Jackdaw was by his side, so he was able to calm down. To be more precise, Jackdaw had always been on standby. Showing up now was actually a good thing. No one would say anything about it. After hearing that, Yi Hua said calmly, Your Majesty, whether I am colluding with the eldest prince or not, let General Yi present the evidence, and we will naturally know. All right. General Yi, show me your evidence. Huang Feidi was a little nervous now. This was the most crucial moment. As long as there wasn't enough evidence, this crime would be directly pinned on them, and the entire Yi clan would be beheaded. Your Majesty. Yes, sir. However, I still want to ask the 9th prince one last time. Did you plot against the first prince or frame him? Huang Yun replied with a deadpan expression. Of course not. Yi Yuanqing nodded and slowly closed his eyes. Everyone was waiting for Yi Yuanqing to take out the evidence, because it concerned the outcome of the battle between the Yi family and the royal family. Who would be the winner? In any case, one side was going to die today. It would be a lie to say that Huang Feidi wasn't nervous. Of course, there was also Huang Yin himself. Of course, the people involved were also very nervous. Right now, Qian Yuqing was naturally very nervous as well. I hope that Yi Hua will be able to get through this crisis. If the heavens were to punish me, that would be great. Don't go and punish Yi Hua. He is the man that I like. Probably, Yi Hua was the only one who wasn't nervous. In Yi Hua's eyes, this was just a small matter, a matter that could be easily dealt with. As Yi Yuanqing opened her beautiful eyes, everyone's hearts were in their throats. Don't keep me in suspense, hurry up and say it. Down there. Do you have proof? Yi Yuanqing shouted. Everyone immediately stared at Yi Yuanqing, but after Yi Yuanqing finished speaking, he didn't do anything. Standing by the emperor's side, Jackdaw moved. The jackdaw lightly swung its wings, and a white cloud appeared in its center. Everyone's minds were buzzing. Just what was going on? Why did the evidence appear on someone close to the emperor? How could it be like this? Huang Feidi was also dumbfounded. He slowly turned to look at Jackdaw. He had no idea what Jackdaw was doing. Shan Junren couldn't understand why Jackdaw would do something like this. You're a supreme. Huang Yun was also dumbfounded. Just what were the people by his father's side doing? Are you planning to betray Imperial Father? What benefits did that Yi Hua give you that you actually chose to betray him? What benefits did I give you? His true body had given Jackdaw a chance to live. Wasn't this an enormous benefit? It was more direct than any treasure. What are you doing? Huang Feidi questioned coldly. After calming down, Huang Feidi finally understood why Yi Hua called out Jackdaw. He wanted her to admit it. Jackdaw was one of his people. If he just pulled Jackdaw out, he could completely deny that he was Jackdaw. After all, Jackdaw had never been seen before. Yi Hua, you're really ruthless. You even instigated the people by my side to betray me. Your Majesty, I'm just doing what I should, Jackdaw said in a low voice. He had already made his decision. Quickly stop for me. I will give you whatever you want. Don't you want to go out and take a walk? I will allow you. It's too late, Your Majesty. Huang Feidi knew that Jackdaw definitely had solid evidence. Otherwise, Yihua wouldn't be so indifferent. All of this had been planned in advance. Yihua had probably planned this while he was at the border. In the center, the white clouds gradually dispersed, and the scene finally appeared. When everyone saw the scene, they felt a chill down their spine, especially Huang Yun. His face sunk, and he was filled with shock. The person that his father sent to kill Yihua was actually hiding by his side. In the scene, Huang Yun was high up in the sky, and there were no injuries on his body at all. On the other hand, Huang Li's entire body was covered with injuries. It was clear that Huang Li had received a fatal injury. Just this scene alone was enough to prove that Huang Yun's words were all lies. Huang Yun landed in front of Huang Li, placed his sword on Huang Li's neck, and said coldly, Huang Li, don't blame your little brother for being ruthless. You were the one who blocked my path. Huang Yun's words were extremely ironic. Just a moment ago, Huang Yun swore that he was innocent, but in the end, it was all a lie. Right now, Huang Yun's face was pale, and he couldn't focus at all. Everyone listened to Huang Li's pleas. How sorrowful. He wasn't killed by the enemy, but was killed by his half-brother. When everyone heard Huang Yun say that he wanted the position of crown prince, the position of emperor, everyone felt that Huang Yun's ambition had swelled. Even Huang Feidi felt it. Huang Yun's sinister scene also appeared. Without any mercy, he cut off Huang Li's head. This scene was truly shocking. Although everyone knew that the royal family was fighting, this was the first time they saw evidence. It was truly frightening. For the position of crown prince, for the position of emperor, he was truly unscrupulous. Next, everyone witnessed how ruthless Huang Yun was towards himself. After taking supreme, he burned the corpse, and in the end, he even poured himself half to death. This kind of person was truly terrifying. It made one's hair stand on end. The scene ended here. The white clouds gradually dispersed, and it was as if they were never there. Everyone was silent. No one said a single word, because they were all shocked. Qian Yuqing also felt that it was inconceivable. This Huang Yun is so vicious, unimaginable. After a long time, Yihua said faintly, Your Majesty, the 9th prince plotted against the eldest prince, framed the eldest prince. What crime is this? Following Yihua's words, everyone woke up. Shan Junren understood Prince Ye's intention. Shock appeared on his face. So Prince Yi did so many things just to see it. The emperor killed his son. His thoughts were already meticulous to the point that it was terrifying. Originally, I thought that the blood of the royal family and the blood of the royal family would suddenly appear on Huang Li, but it turns out that it wasn't over. Yi Yuanqing also only found out about his big brother's intention last night. So, from the start to the end, the entire arrangement was to let the emperor personally kill his favorite son. After hearing about it, Yi Yuanqing felt that his entire body went numb. Big Brother has become so terrifying. But when he thought about how the emperor wanted to kill his entire family, Big Brother only wanted the emperor to kill his son, he felt that it wasn't a big deal. This was a battle of life and death, but Big Brother was obviously going to win. Big Brother would never lose. Big Brother is the strongest. End of this chapter. Chapter 1053. Ripples appeared in Qian Yuqing's beautiful eyes. As expected, the man that I fancy is the most formidable. Looking at Yihua's expression that seems to have everything planned out. My God, so charming. Indeed, the charm that the current Yihua was emitting was limitless. To be able to make an emperor of a god's realm so angry that he was speechless. Yihua was probably the only person in history who was able to do so. This was the product of the combination of great strength and great brainpower. I, the Supreme Overlord, am finally able to put down the butcher's knife and let others pick up the butcher's knife and cut down my own people. This kind of feeling of accomplishment is really great. That's why I, the Supreme Overlord, am saying that cartoons are very fun to watch. Back then, I really didn't watch Detective Conan for nothing. I learned all kinds of misdirection, and I even managed to use them. Huang Feidi also understood Yihua's intentions. Yihua actually wants me to kill my son. This bastard. He had been plotting this all along. It had been like this from the very beginning. He clearly had a lot of chances to kill Huang Yun and Huang Li. In the end, he made his own sons kill each other, and even wanted this emperor to kill his own son. Yi Hua, your heart is really getting more and more vicious. In the past, you wanted my throne, but now, you want to see my people kill each other. You're even more king vicious than me. Imperial father. I'm innocent. All of this is fake. This person is definitely colluding with Yi Hua. How dare you frame me? Huang Yun hurriedly quibbled. He absolutely could not admit to this matter. As long as he admitted it, he would have no other choice but to die. As for Huang Yun, it was fine if Huang Feiди wanted to protect his son. But now was not the time to worry about whether Huang Yun had killed Huang Li or not. I can't let Yi Hua have his way. Even if I lose my face, I can't let Yi Hua have his way. Just like what Huang Yun had said, his subordinates had already betrayed him and colluded with Lord Yi to harm loyal subjects. Yi Hua was still too young, and he didn't know how ruthless the people from the royal family were. Sometimes, for the sake of their face, they would do anything by hook or by crook, and at other times, for the sake of the royal family's face, they would do anything by hook or by crook. Yi Hua was young, but that did not mean that Qian Yuqing was young. Qian Yuqing understood very well what the emperor wanted to do right now. Your Majesty, I have an item here that can be used to determine if what the ninth prince said is the truth or not. Qian Yuqing could be seen stretching out her palm, and a gemstone could be seen lying on Qian Yuqing's palm. Isn't this the soul gem? When Huang Yun saw the gem in Qian Yuqing's hand, he wanted to kill her. Being betrayed by the woman he loved, this kind of feeling was driving Huang Yun crazy. His whole body was trembling. Huang Yun's eyes gradually became bloodshot. He looked very terrifying. As for Huang Yun, he looked at his high and mighty father. Huang Feiди understood what his son meant. He wanted him to make a decision quickly. Think of a way. Your Majesty, I feel that we can let the ninth prince try to prove his innocence. Huang Feidi stared blankly at Shan Junren. He couldn't understand even if he was beaten to death. Why did even Shan Junren betray him? The two people by his side had both betrayed him. Yi Hua, how did you do it? Shan Junren was also taking a gamble. He also chose to stand on Yi Hua's side, because the things that the emperor did were too suspicious. And Shan Junren was also thinking for the sake of the entire Shan family. Shan Yu knew what his father meant. The emperor betrothed Yi Yuanqing to him. And it seemed like he had the intention to make a move. After all, everything was fine. Why did the emperor send Yi Yuanqing to the Shan clan? However, Huang Feidi's initial intention was to remove Yi Yuanqing's official position. Sending him to the Shan clan was also a warning. However, Shan Junren mistook this warning as Yi Yuanqing's intention to make a move, causing him to stand on Yi Hua's side. Yi Hua smoked his cigarette. This old man has good eyesight. A wise man submits to circumstances. Although Shan Junren had misunderstood the emperor's meaning, he had indirectly saved his life. It was still worth it. Even the prime minister was standing on Lord Ye's side. Everyone felt that Lord Ye's authority was overflowing, and he was suppressing the emperor. Your Majesty, what the prime minister said is right. Let the ninth prince try. This way, the people of the world will have nothing to say. The officials began pleading. This caused Huang Feidi to have the urge to kill someone. I just missed a great opportunity. My words were interrupted by this Qian Yuqing. This adulterous couple. They were acting from the very start. Damn it, I fell for their tricks. Yi Yuanqing looked at Huang Yun, who had a gloomy expression, and said faintly, Ninth Prince, it can't be that you don't dare to, right? Huang Yun slowly raised his head and glared at Yi Yuanqing with his pair of venomous eyes. It was as if he wanted to eat Yi Yuanqing's flesh to vent the hatred in his heart. Yi Yuanqing walked in front of Qian Yuqing and winked at his sister-in-law. Qian Yuqing did the same as well. This small detail was seen by Huang Yun, and he was no longer able to suppress his anger. Damn these two women. I swear, I will use the cruelest method to make you two wish you were dead. Yi Yuanqing, who received the spirit gem, walked to Huang Yun's side. Please, Your Highness the Ninth Prince. Huang Yun looked at the spirit gem in Yi Yuanqing's hand. That day, I shouldn't have listened to Qian Yuqing and given this spirit gem to her. But now, it actually became a tool to take my life. Ninth prince, everyone is still waiting. Don't miss the auspicious time. Right now, Yi Yuanqing's words were filled with sarcasm. One couldn't help but say that Yi Hua was indeed very good at leading bad people. Huang Yun held onto the spirit gem with his hand, seemingly wanting to crush the spirit gem. At that time, there would be no tool to prove it. But after holding on to the spirit gem for a long time, the spirit gem in his hand did not have any reaction. This caused Huang Yin to feel surprised. How is this possible? Ninth prince, did you plot against the first prince? Yi Yuanqing didn't waste any time, and went straight to the point. Huang Yin didn't say anything. He held the spirit gem tightly in his hand and looked at his father. Of course, there was also that damned Yi Hua. He could actually sit there so leisurely. Even if I have to die. And in front of you. I killed your woman. Thus, Huang Yun's next move shocked everyone. This was something that no one had ever thought of. On the day of the wedding, the groom placed a sword on the bride's neck with a ferocious look on his face. When everyone saw Huang Yun's actions, they knew what it meant. This was no different from admitting it. Seeing his son's actions, Huang Fei slowly closed his eyes and let out a breath. In his heart he was thinking, kill. Kill Yi Hua's woman. Then run. This is your last chance to live. Royal Cloud. What are you doing? Yi Yuanqing chided. He didn't expect Huang Yin to do such a thing. It was too extreme. Huang Yin was also forced into a corner. His father had no other choice but to save himself. But at the same time he had to kill this woman. Yi Yuanqing. What do you think I am doing? This woman is still thinking of another man today. The sun and moon god's breath in Huang Yun's hand emitted a boiling hot current, burning Qian Yuqing's jade neck. Looking at this scene, Yi Hua didn't say anything. End of this chapter. Chapter 1054. It is normal for this woman to think of me. It is normal for all the women in the world to think of me. After all, I am outstanding, and no one can compare to me. The officials watched as Huang Yin prepared to kill Qian Yuqing, and the emperor didn't care. He didn't even care about Prince Yi. What is going on? Yi Hua. Huang Yin roared. Yi Hua's eyes floated towards Huang Yin, and with a look of contempt he said, "What are you calling this prince for? Today, I will let you see your woman die here." Huang Yin had a ferocious expression on his face. Veins bulged on his forehead. He had lost his usual recuperation, and now he looked like a butcher, a mindless butcher. Yi Hua said faintly, "She is not my woman." Pretending? You are pretending. Isn't everything you've done today for her? Huang Yin roared angrily. His voice was a little hoarse. Yi Hua flicked the ash off his cigarette. This action of disdain almost made Huang Yin bleed. "With your strength, it doesn't seem to be enough to kill her," Yi Hua said faintly. "You are mocking me for not having strength. This damned Yi Hua. I am a supreme overlord now. Do you know what a supreme overlord is? I can kill you with a finger." Huang Yin roared. Following this sentence, the entire place became silent. Huang Yin admitted it. The ninth prince is already a supreme overlord. Even so, he will lose the throne. However, he is already a supreme overlord, so why would he care about the throne? He will still be respected by everyone. After all, his strength is right there. Just like what Huang Yin said, he can kill him with a finger. "Then, what do you want?" Yi Hua asked curiously. "Kneel in front of me and say that I am the strongest." Huang Yin roared. It seems like Yi Hua is a huge shadow in Huang Yun's heart. He wants Yi Hua to admit that he, Huang Yun, is the strongest. Yi Hua said faintly, "You are a spicy chicken." Huang Fei clenched his teeth. "Calling my son a spicy chicken in front of me is the same as calling me a spicy chicken. But what can I do now? I have lost this time, and there is nothing I can do now." The only thing he could do now was to protect the face of the royal family. "Huang Yin, hurry up and leave after killing them. You don't have much time left." Huang Yun's hands were trembling. Even at this point in time, he was still calling him a piece of trash. "I want to kill Qian Yuqing. Go ahead and kill them," Yi Hua said faintly. Towards Yi Hua's attitude, Huang Yin was already on the verge of collapsing. Shouldn't Yi Hua be coming over to beg me? Even Qian Yuqing, who was beside him, stopped talking. "What are you two doing? Say something. Say that you don't want to die. The more tragic, the better. Hurry up and say it. Bastard. I want to hear your pitiful words. Go die. The crazed Huang Yin moved. Everyone was stupefied. Huang Yin really killed him. Huang Yun's sword stabbed into Qian Yuqing's abdomen again and again. Every stab was filled with deep hatred. The woman he loved the most in the past had betrayed him. He could only end it all with death. Huang Yin didn't even know how many times he had swung his sword. He only stopped when the anger in his heart lessened. However, Huang Yin suddenly felt that something was wrong. Why isn't she bleeding? Huang Yin lifted up Qian Yuqing's red veil, and a smiling face could be seen. It is indeed Qian Yuqing. Qian Yuqing could be seen moving closer to Huang Yun's ear with a smile and said softly, "You can't afford to offend my woman." After hearing this, Huang Yun felt as if he was struck by lightning. That voice just now. Huang Yun looked towards Yi Hua. Meanwhile, Qian Yuqing's figure transformed into a flower and dissipated. That wasn't Qian Yuqing at all. Yi Yuanqing, who was standing at the side, revealed a smile. Just now, when he winked at sister-in-law, the real Qian Yuqing was switched. This was naturally one of his big brother's plans. He was afraid that Huang Yin would go crazy and kill sister-in-law. However, Yi Yuanqing felt that why didn't Big Brother personally come and save sister-in-law, and let her be touched? Why did Big Brother act so sneakily as if he was embarrassed? I really don't know what Big Brother is thinking. As Qian Yuqing dissipated, only then did everyone realize that the real Qian Yuqing had disappeared. Was the real Qian Yuqing fake from the start, or was she switched halfway through? However, under the eyes of everyone, how did Qian Yuqing manage to switch out the real Qian Yuqing? This Prince Yi sure is terrifying. He can even predict this? Huang Feidy tightly clenched his fists. I won't let today's matter go just like this. Huang Yun, hurry up and run. Don't act recklessly. However, will Huang Yin run? He obviously won't run. Today either Yi Hua dies or I, Huang Yin, dies. Yi Hua, I am going to take your dog life. Huang Yin no longer concealed his strength. The sun and moon divine breath in his hands shone brightly, and a terrifying aura immediately engulfed the entire wedding ceremony. The clear sky became densely covered with dark clouds, and rumbling sounds rang out in the sky, seemingly wanting to penetrate through the entire world. Is this the strength of a supreme overlord? Everyone present could feel it. It is indeed very powerful. Most likely, Prince Yi is going to be beaten to death. You want to kill this prince? Yi Hua's voice suddenly rang out beside Huang Yun's ears. Huang Yun turned his head to take a look, and Yi Hua's handsome face was revealed. Yi Hua stretched out his left hand and fiercely slapped towards the back of Huang Yun's neck. Bang! Under this slap, a terrifying cyclone was created, and the entire spiritual capital could feel it. The sky that was densely covered with dark clouds just a moment ago suddenly cleared up, and following Yi Hua's slap, Huang Yun directly descended. He landed precisely in front of Huang Feidy's feet. His intention couldn't be any more obvious. I won't kill your son. Your son, you do it. Looking at Prince Yi, who was in the sky, everyone was endlessly shocked. With a slap, Yi Hua slapped the Supreme Overlord down, as if he was slapping a dog. How is this possible? Prince Yi actually has such strength. Huang Feidy finally understood why Jackdaw betrayed him. Between death and betrayal, Jackdaw would definitely choose the latter. This Yi Hua is actually so powerful. My son, you are truly foolish. You should have run just now. In actuality, running is also useless. Today, Huang Yun is being forced to death. There is no other possibility. Yi Shan stared blankly at his eldest son Yi Hua. He completely didn't expect that Yi Hua would actually have such strength to be able to completely suppress the royal family. No wonder Yi Yuanqing would help Yi Hua. He definitely knows something. But I still hate you, this unfilial son. No matter how powerful you are, I am still the same. When Yi Yuanqing saw his big brother slapping the Supreme Overlord down from the sky with a single slap, he couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. Big brother is awesome. Jackdaw didn't say anything. In actuality, the current Huang Yun still hasn't become a true Supreme Overlord. He had only just absorbed the Supreme Overlord. If he wanted to stabilize it, it would take 1,000 years. End of this chapter. Chapter 1055. Huang Feidi looked at his son in front of him, and his chest heaved up and down. Just now, Yihua's attack directly scattered Huang Yun's primordial spirit. How is this possible? It has only been 1,000 years, and he actually grew to such an extent. If he was given another few thousand years, what would he become? Yihua slowly landed on his seat and said softly, "Your Majesty, I have taken down the person who killed my brother." What he meant was, it's all up to you now. Huang Yun didn't die, but he was vomiting blood and staring at Yihua. This was hatred that came from the depths of his soul. "I will kill you. I will definitely kill you," Huang Yun muttered. There was only one thought in his mind, and that was to kill Yihua and throw his soul into the magma of the abyss. Yihua said faintly, "Stubborn. Your Majesty, how should we punish this unfilial son who killed his brother?" Jackdaw said faintly, "According to the imperial family's laws, he will be executed on the spot." Huang Feidi clenched his fists and looked at the officials. All of them lowered their heads. These people. They want me to kill my son. So vicious. So vicious. Huang Feidi clenched his fists and looked at Yihua. Yihua noticed Huang Feidi's gaze. This should be a type of pleading, asking me to spare his son this once. After all, only I can save your son right now. But that is impossible. You want to kill me, you want to kill my mother, and you even sent people to capture my woman. I am not a kind person, and the blood on my hands is not something you can imagine. Your Majesty, is it true that a prince will be punished the same as a commoner? Yihua said faintly, "If you don't kill my son today, I will not let this matter rest." Huang Feidi took a deep breath and said, "The 9th prince killed his brother. He is extremely vicious." Before Huang Feidi could finish, Huang Yun stood up shakily. His wedding robe was a bit tattered, and his hair was messy. He didn't look like a prince at all. "Yihua, you want father to kill me? Let me tell you. Impossible. I, Huang Yun, will not let you succeed." After speaking, Huang Yun looked at Huang Feidi and said, "Father, I have embarrassed you. Yihua, one day I will beat you. You will one day. Just you wait." Huang Yun glared at Yihua angrily. In the end, he raised his head and looked towards the blue sky of Lingdu. After taking one last look at the sky that had raised him, he slowly raised his right hand. Bang! An oppressive sound rang out as Huang Yun smacked his own forehead, causing his brain to explode. There was dead silence. The 9th prince had taken his own life. Everyone felt a chill run down their spine. This was the first time they had seen someone force a member of the royal family to commit suicide. Huang Feidi watched as Huang Yun died in front of him. This was his most beloved son. But today, he was forced to die in front of him. But there was nothing he could do. Huang Feidi slowly turned his head and looked towards Yihua, and Yihua also looked towards Huang Feidi. The atmosphere at the scene had frozen to the extreme. Prince Yi had forced the emperor's son to his death. If they were to fight now, it would be very normal. Judging from their strength, Prince Yi had the advantage. Could it be that Prince Yi still wanted to seize the throne today? Of course, Yihua did not plan to usurp the throne. What is so good about being the emperor of the gods' realm? Right at this moment, a few more people appeared at the scene. Yihua looked at the people who just arrived, and a trace of an arc appeared on the corner of his mouth. When everyone saw the 3 people who suddenly appeared, they were very puzzled. Who are this man and 2 women? To be more precise, this man is the emperor's imperial bodyguard, Sky-bearing Empire. However, who are these 2 women who are suffocatingly beautiful? That's right. The 2 women that Yihua was looking at were precisely Qingye and Donghuang Baiji. Of course, this is also a part of the plan. I, the Supreme Overlord, am rather cautious. Yi Yuanqing looked at the 2 women who suddenly appeared, and his intuition told him that the 2 women are related to Big Brother. When Qian Yuqing saw the 2 women, she lightly bit onto her lips. The 2 women are Yihua's wives, and they even have children with Yihua. However, I have never even been on Yihua's bed before, and I am already very backward. I was clearly the one who first got to know Yihua, and it was only a few days ago that I kissed him for the first time, and it was also the first time that Yihua touched me. When Huang Feidi saw that Sky-bearing Empire had appeared, and that Sky-bearing Empire had even brought along 2 women, without needing to think too much, he knew what the identity of the 2 women were. Your Majesty, what is the meaning of this? Yi Hua asked gravely. Shan Junren felt his scalp going numb. This Prince Yi seems to be looking for an excuse to mess with the Emperor. Everyone felt the same way. The Emperor sent people to kidnap Prince Ye's family, and I didn't expect that the Emperor would appear now. Seems like this is another one of Prince Ye's tricks. Huang Feidi was very angry right now, but at least he still had a trace of clear-headedness. It has been a few days since I went to Sky-Bearing Empire. However, for them to appear at such a crucial time, I am afraid that it was also arranged by Yi Hua. Damn it. You have already killed my 2 sons. What else do you want? Do you want me to die as well? Suddenly, Huang Feidi laughed out loud and said, Prince Yi, it's a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. I know that you are bored in Spiritual City, so I specially brought your relatives up here to have a gathering. Everyone swallowed their saliva. My son just died, and he is actually still able to laugh, and he is even explaining it to his enemy. Just how much courage does he need to do that? The Emperor is so pitiful. At this moment, Sky-Bearing Empire said respectfully, Prince Yi, it is indeed so. His Majesty has sent us to bring Prince Ye's beloved wives up here to have a gathering. I didn't expect that these 2 women were actually Prince Ye's beloved wives. Oh my god, they are actually so beautiful, not at all inferior to Qian Yuqing's beauty. Could it be that Prince Yi is not interested in Qian Yuqing? With such a wife, I am indeed not interested in him. Yi Yuanqing had an expression of as expected on his face. So these 2 are my sisters-in-law. They are really beautiful. So beautiful to the point that bubbles are bubbling. I am truly envious of them. Their looks are truly a perfect match. Qingye and Donghuang Baiji both had a smile on their faces throughout the entire process, seemingly not feeling threatened at all, giving off a kind feeling. Yi Hua looked towards Huang Feidi and said in a low voice, Your Majesty, is it really so? Huang Feidi felt a surge of warmth in his chest, and he forcefully held back his laughter and said, Of course it is so. Prince Yi is a meritorious official. You exposed the crimes of this bastard, got rid of a scourge for Spiritual City, and also got rid of a malignant tumor for the royal family. Let us raise our cups and congratulate Prince Yi. What is despair? The murderer is right in front of you. Yet you are unable to do anything. And you even have to fawn on him, say good things about him, congratulate him, and even say that your dead son is worthless. Right now, Huang Feidi could feel that this is hatred that comes from the soul. Yi Hua brought Qingye and Donghuang Baiji up here because he wanted this to happen. I killed your son, yet you can only watch on, and you even have to congratulate me with a smile on your face. Can you afford to offend my women? End of this chapter. Chapter 1056. Furthermore, Yi Hua also wanted to bring Qingye and Donghuang Baiji to meet his mother. After all, she was an elder. How could she bring her mother to see her daughter-in-law? This didn't seem to be in line with the rules. It seemed rude. The officials raised their cups and shouted, Prince Yi is wise. Although Qingye and Donghuang Baiji didn't know what happened, they felt that Yi Hua must have finished acting cool just now. This scoundrel, he didn't even bring his wife along for the fun of it. He even became a prince here, and made the emperor speechless with anger. After drinking this cup of wine, Huang Feidi said with a heavy tone, What happened today is this emperor's responsibility. I didn't discipline the prince properly, which resulted in such a tragedy. I have truly let down my ancestors, let down the people of the gods. I will clear the first prince's name, and the 9th prince, Huang Yun. He was stripped of his imperial status and demoted to a commoner. His evil deeds will be announced to the world. The marriage between the 9th prince and Qian Yuqing is over. General Yi has done a great service by exposing us this time. I will allow you to marry freely. Yishan, you have taught 2 good children. With them around, the Yi family will surely achieve glory once again. Yishan trembled in fear and quickly cupped his hands. Yi Yuanqing was very happy. Now, without his big brother saying anything, the emperor knew what to do. He was finally free. Shan Yu also heaved a sigh of relief. Finally, he did not want to marry this violent woman. After saying all these, Huang Feidi even took a look at Yi Hua, seemingly asking, Are you satisfied now? Yi Hua was indeed satisfied, thus he said, Your Majesty is wise. Following Yihua's shout, everyone started shouting as well. I will be leaving first. My body isn't feeling too well. Everyone, please help yourselves. After speaking, Huang Feidi left. Jackdaw didn't follow Huang Feidi. Instead, he looked towards Yihua. Yihua nodded. Jackdaw was overjoyed, and it instantly disappeared from where it was standing. This was the taste of freedom. Yihua waved his hand towards Qingye and Donghuang Baiji. Didn't his two wives know what their man wanted to do? Acting cool was his motto. Using himself to act cool was his weapon. Indeed, Yihua raised up the wine cup and shouted, "Let's not return until we are drunk. Let's drink till we're drunk." The ministers raised their wine glasses and shouted. However, Huang Yun's corpse was still lying at the side, his eyes wide open. Huang Feidi, who had just left, heard the voice coming from behind him. He could no longer hold it in and vomited a mouthful of blood onto the ground. "Your Majesty! Your Majesty!" The eunuch hurried over to support him. Huang Feidi waved his hand and continued walking forward. His eyes were filled with determination. "Yihua, this emperor will remember this enmity. Just you wait for this emperor. You will pay for your arrogance one day. This time, this emperor will bet all of his wealth to fight with you. If you don't kill me today, then next time, I will kill you." However, how could Yihua not understand the principle of cutting weeds and getting rid of the roots? There were two reasons why he didn't kill Huang Feidi. First of all, if he wanted to kill him openly, he was still a little lacking. Secondly, this Huang Feidi could be considered as a relatively good opponent. If he were to die so quickly, wouldn't it be a pity that I don't even have an opponent? So you need to keep it. The main body still gave him two choices. One was to enjoy life and continue to be an emperor, while the other was in deep despair. Believe me, next time, you will suffer even more pain. I never lie. Apart from cheating his wife. On the way back to Yi family, Yi Yuanqing kept on calling her sister-in-law left and right. Donghuang Baiji and Qingye's hearts were bursting with joy. Is this Yihua's little sister? She looks so cute. Sister-in-law, the two of you are so beautiful, the super beautiful kind. Of course, Yi Yuanqing wasn't bootlicking, he was truly sighing in admiration. A woman can actually grow to such an extent, this is too exaggerated. Just what did she eat to grow up? Towards Yi Yuanqing's praise, Qingye and Donghuang Baiji were very happy. The two of them took out red packets. After all, it was their first time meeting each other. Yi Yuanqing was a bit confused, not knowing what the red packets were. Yihua sat at the side and said faintly, "This is a type of blessing, accept it." Yi Yuanqing accepted the red packets happily. "Thank you, sister-in-law." In actuality, Qingye and Donghuang Baiji were still very nervous. "We are going to meet Yihua's mother soon. What should we do? Will Yihua's mother hate us? We are so nervous." Looking at how nervous Qingye and Donghuang Baiji were, Yihua revealed a light smile. "So there is actually something that can scare you to this extent. Sister-in-law, you two don't have to be nervous. Aunt Lu is actually very easygoing." Yi Yuanqing felt that the two sisters-in-law were pretty good. Both of them were obedient and virtuous. Seems like the type that Big Brother likes has never changed. Qingye pursed her lips and said in a low voice, "Really?" "Of course." Yi Yuanqing covered his mouth and laughed lightly. "Sister-in-law Qingye is so cute." "Why don't I see Qianyuqing?" Donghuang Baiji asked curiously. Hearing that, Yihua said faintly, "Why are you mentioning her?" Yi Yuanqing became unhappy and said, "Big brother, sister-in-law is about to commit suicide for you. And you are still saying this. Commit suicide?" Qingye and Donghuang Baiji cried out in surprise. "That's right, sister-in-law. Sister-in-law is so pitiful. Let me tell you too, how did Big Brother treat sister-in-law?" In the following period of time, Yi Yuanqing began scolding his big brother. In any case, he is cold-blooded towards sister-in-law. Qingye and Donghuang Baiji saw Yihua's attitude. Back then at the entrance of the palace, Yihua was already like this. However, it was strange, when did Yihua not like beauties? Could it be that he minded it because it was in the past? The possibility of that was very big. This Qianyuqing is indeed pitiful. And Donghuang Baiji felt that Qianyuqing is even more pitiful than me. After all, back then, Yihua didn't say any sarcastic words to me. and his attitude of admitting his mistake was still considered to be honest. This Qian Yuqing is miserable, Sai Qingye said in a low voice. Yi Hua, actually Qian Yuqing is quite a good person. Why don't you consider her? That's right, you shouldn't lecture others like that. No matter what, you still have an engagement with her in the past. Dong Huang Baiji persuaded from the side. Yi Hua's expression turned cold as he said gravely, "Enough. Don't mention this matter anymore." Yi Hua's attitude gave the three women a fright. Did he eat dynamite? Qingye felt that this Yi Hua is a fake, he doesn't even want beauties, I have already given in. And yet he still dares to say such words. The carriage slowly stopped in front of Yi Hua's house, and Yi Hua entered the house with his two wives, while Yi Yuanqing followed behind them. A carriage followed behind them, and of course it was Yi Shan. I am simply about to explode from anger. Is this my home? Or is this your home? Big brother, big brother. When Yi Juetian saw that his big brother had returned, he hurriedly ran over. When he saw Qingye and Donghuang Baiji, he went into a daze for a moment, then hurriedly shouted out, "Sisters-in-law." End of this chapter. Chapter 1057. Towards Yi Hua's blood-related younger brother, Qingye and Donghuang Baiji were very courteous towards him. I didn't expect that Yi Hua would be able to receive so much affection from Qingye and Donghuang Baiji, and they were truly happy for Yi Hua. Big brother, mother is waiting for your news inside, also. Yi Juetian said intermittently. Who else? Yi Hua asked gravely. Sister-in-law is here too, Yi Juetian said in a low voice. In actuality, Qian Yuqing had already come over long ago. Looking at how intimate Yi Hua was with his two wives, Qian Yuqing felt a bit jealous. Why can't you call me over? I can also act coquettishly in your embrace and do the things that you like to do. Hugging on to Qian Yuqing, I can also make other men feel jealous. Yi Hua's expression turned cold as he questioned. What is she doing here? Yi Hua, why are you acting like this? Qingye couldn't help but say. How can you treat a girl like this? Moreover, it is a girl who likes you. You are too heartless. Yi Hua, you weren't like this in the past. Although Donghuang Baiji didn't say anything, she didn't like this heartless version of Yi Hua. This heartless version of Yi Hua was just like how he treated me back then. Big brother, please stop scolding sister-in-law. She is so pitiful. Yi Yuanqing also begged. Sister-in-law was already pitiful enough. She only wanted to be with you. Right now, the four of them were pleading for Qian Yuqing together. However, it was useless. Yi Hua's attitude was still the same as before, seemingly determined to not want Qian Yuqing at all. Facing Yi Hua's stubbornness, everyone could only hope that Yi Hua's mother would be able to speak a sentence of justice. The group walked into Lu Jing's courtyard. At this moment in the courtyard, Lu Jing and Qian Yuqing were sitting in the pavilion. Qian Yuqing had already changed her clothes. Lu Jing was holding her hands, seemingly comforting her. However, when Qian Yuqing saw that Yi Hua had brought his wife over, she immediately stood up and stood at the side with her head lowered. She was basically the same as Daji beside him. When Qingye and Donghuang Baiji saw Qian Yuqing's actions, they really wanted to teach Yi Hua a lesson. Daji was being respectful, but Qian Yuqing was obviously being scared. Look at what you've done. You actually scared a girl who likes you to this extent. No respect for women at all. If Yi Hua were to know what his two wives were thinking, he would definitely have a good argument with them. When I look for women, you say that I am lecherous. When I don't look for women, you say that I don't respect women. Is this the logic of you women? Lu Jing's eyes lit up when she saw the two girls beside her son. Isn't she the woman in the photo? She was even more beautiful in person than in the photos, and her demeanor was also dignified. This daughter-in-law was very satisfied. From the looks of it, Qingye and Donghuang Baiji could be considered to have passed the first stage. After all, the first impression was very important. Yi Hua walked forward and ignored Qian Yuqing, who was at the side, as he said lightly, Mother, this is Qingye, and this is Donghuang Baiji, both of them are my wives. Qian Yuqing, who was standing at the side, felt a bit uncomfortable. How I wish that Yi Hua would also introduce me like this. If that were the case, I would definitely be happy for a few years. However, the current Yi Hua didn't even bother to look him in the eye. In that case, why did he kill Huang Yin to save him? Qian Yuqing was completely in a mess. I don't know what Yi Hua is thinking. This man's heart is truly like a needle at the bottom of the ocean. I am truly unable to fathom him. Following Yi Hua's introduction, Qingye and Donghuang Baiji walked forward and called out tenderly, "Mother." Originally, Yi Hua wanted to call her mother, but when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Ah, good boy. Lu Jing was very happy. She lightly held on to Qingye and Donghuang Baiji's hands, and from the tone of her voice, it could be heard that she was very gentle. Yi Yuanqing and Yi Juetian, who were standing at the back, looked at their sister-in-law and felt that she was very pitiful, standing all alone at the side. "You two have a good chat. I will go and rest first," Yi Hua said faintly. Lu Jing shouted out lightly, "Yi Hua, wait a moment. Mother has something to say to you." Yi Hua stopped his footsteps. He could clearly feel that his mother wanted to say something. Right now, Qingye and Donghuang Baiji naturally had to stand on Lu Jing's side. Thus, the two women immediately pulled Yi Hua over, and Qingye said, "Yi Hua, mother has something to say, sit down." Lu Jing was very satisfied with Qingye's actions. This kind of daughter-in-law can be counted as sensible. Daughter-in-law doesn't like those who are unreasonable. Yi Hua helplessly sat down, then said faintly, "Daji, brew a cup of tea." "All right." Lu Jing revealed out a gentle smile. "You two sit down too, don't just stand there." "All right, mother." Qingye and Donghuang Baiji weren't that nervous anymore. Yi Hua's mother is indeed easy to talk to. She isn't that kind of formidable mother-in-law. When I just came here, I was already afraid of meeting a formidable mother-in-law. Lu Jing gradually became serious, then said towards Qingye and Donghuang Baiji, "Yi Hua, it has been hard on you two to take care of him all these years." The two women hurriedly replied politely. However, in their hearts, they were thinking, not only has it been hard on me, it has also been extremely hard on me. With that temper of his, which woman would be able to endure it? Furthermore, he often lies to you, and if he doesn't act cool for a period of time, he would feel uncomfortable all over his body. He would bring his subordinates and cause all sorts of trouble, just like a child, and yet he still acts like an adult every single day. Mother's words might have wronged you too, but mother has no choice but to say it. I hope that you two can understand. Qingye and Donghuang Baiji nodded their heads obediently. They knew what Lu Jing wanted to say. However, at this moment, Yi Hua said gravely, "Mother, this matter." However, before Yi Hua could finish, Donghuang Baiji said in a low voice, "Yi Hua, when mother is speaking, don't interrupt." Yi Hua, Yi Juetian, Yi Yuanqing. This sister-in-law sure is formidable, to actually dare to teach big brother a lesson. Even Lu Jing has a whole new level of respect for Donghuang Baiji. However, this is also good. There must be a woman who can suppress my son. Qian Yuqing, who was standing at the back, felt very wronged. "Yi Hua, do you really dislike me that much?" Right at this moment, Lu Jing said with a pleading tone, "Qingye, Baiji, mother's request is a bit too much, but I still hope that you two can accept Yuqing. Yuqing has suffered a lot during these few years. Mother can see it with my own eyes, and I dote on her in my heart." Hearing that Lu Jing was speaking up for her, Qian Yuqing tightly pinched onto the corner of her clothes, and she bit onto her lips to the point that her hair turned white. However, at this moment, Yi Hua spoke again. "Mother, this kind of matter cannot be forced. I already have a wife." "Yi Hua, mother is asking us, not you. Please don't speak anymore," Qingye said sternly. "Right now there is no place for you to speak. These two women are great. I am afraid that with mother backing you up, you two can be rude to me, right? You two are formidable. I will properly teach you two a lesson in the future." Tears were swirling around in Qian Yuqing's eyes. Yi Hua is still rejecting me. Just what is wrong with me? End of this chapter. Chapter 1058. Qingye and Donghuang Baiji could be seen holding on to Lu Jing's hands. As the big sister, Qingye said first, "Mother, we have heard about the matter between Yi Hua and Qian Yuqing. During this period of time, we have also thought about it. What mother said is right. A man should finish what he started. Since Yi Hua and Qian Yuqing already had an engagement in the past, it naturally still counts. In the end, we are the ones who interfered with them." Following what Qingye said, Lu Jing liked her more and more. What a sensible daughter-in-law. Her words are so pleasant to hear. Even Yi Yuanqing and Yi Juetian liked these two sisters-in-law even more. Big brother is really good at finding wives. Qian Yuqing was almost moved to death. I didn't expect that they would actually be so magnanimous. I will definitely treat them well in the future. Qingye and Donghuang Baiji weren't stupid. Although they were a little annoyed at the start, when they heard about Yi Hua and Qian Yuqing's love history, they couldn't help but feel helpless. They felt like they were in the same boat, and with Lu Jing's attitude, why not push the boat forward? Helping others achieve their goals. After all, this was also a problem left behind by history. However, Yi Hua's attitude right now was very angry. You two are really good children, it's just that my Yi Hua is not sensible. Yuqing has done so much for you. Even if your heart is a piece of iron, you should still loosen up a little. Lu Jing said helplessly. Yi Hua took a deep breath, but still didn't say anything. Qingye laughed. Mother, you don't have to care about him in the family, we have the final say. Really? Lu Jing's eyes shone. If Qingye has the final say in the family, that would be great. Of course, isn't Yi Hua like this? Qingye smiled towards Yi Hua. It seems that if you dare to say the word no, you will be finished. In the future, don't think about using us to act cool. Yi Hua sighed helplessly, then stood up and said faintly, up to you. After finished speaking, he walked out of the courtyard. Seeing that Yi Hua had compromised, Qingye blinked her beautiful eyes mischievously. Mother, I told you, I am definitely right. That is great. Lu Jing also let go of the stone in her heart. Qian Yuqing was also very happy. Let's enter the house first, and Yi Hua's action just now could be considered as tacit agreement. Yi Hua's actions just now could be considered as his tacit consent. Qian Yuqing bowed slightly and said sincerely. Without their efforts, she wouldn't even have this tacit agreement. Qingye and Donghuang Baiji walked up and helped Qian Yuqing up. Qian Yuqing is also a woman who was harmed by Yi Hua. Look at her eyes. She is holding back her tears, seemingly afraid that Yi Hua will scold her. This Yi Hua only knows how to bully his own woman, he is truly shameless. Yi Yuanqing and Yi Juetian were also happy for their sister-in-law. Although their big brother didn't admit it, he had tacitly agreed. This was already a good start. Seeing that the sisters-in-law were sitting together and chatting, the two followed Yi Hua out of the room and didn't participate in the conversation. He really envied his big brother's luck with women. His three sisters-in-law were all so outstanding, and he heard that there was still one sister-in-law who wasn't around. Yi Juetian really wanted his big brother to teach him how to pick up girls. How to make a girl fall head over heels for you, just like his sister-in-law, who had fallen head over heels for 1,000 years. Which woman could do this? At least in the entire God's realm, only sister-in-law could do it. Big brother, wait up, don't walk so fast. Yi Yuanqing jogged along the way, and Yi Juetian did the same as well. Yi Hua slowed down his footsteps and stood beside the fish pond. Then he picked up the feed at the side and threw some into the fish pond. Very quickly, a school of fish was lured over. Yi Yuanqing and Yi Juetian stood at the two sides of Yi Hua. In the two's eyes, Big Brother was the most awesome person in the world. Look at his expression, even throwing some feed feels like he is acting cool. Big Brother, why did you suddenly tacitly agree with big sister-in-law? Yi Juetian asked curiously. Towards this question, Yi Yuanqing was also very curious. Could it really be because of the sisters-in-law's persuasion? However, Yi Hua said faintly, when did I reject them? Hearing Yi Hua's words, Yi Yuanqing and Yi Juetian went into a daze for a moment, and their mouths opened wide. Then Big Brother, why did you keep rejecting big sister-in-law? Yi Juetian felt that the amount of information he received was rather big. Just what is going on? Yi Hua said faintly, if I don't reject her, how am I going to create a pitiful woman? The corner of Yi Yuanqing's mouth twitched. So Big Brother has even schemed against big sister-in-law. Then, why did you create such a situation? Yi Juetian hurriedly asked. Yi Hua said faintly, you two might not know this, but your sisters-in-law loves to be jealous the most. In the past, she was known as the jealousy king of the cultivation world. If I didn't make them feel that Yuqing is pitiful and take the initiative to push Yuqing over to me, Big Brother, I wouldn't have a good life. After finished speaking, Yihua scattered some feed. That's right. From the very start, I had been scheming against this. Motherfucker, Qian Yuqing is such a beautiful woman. How could I possibly let go of her? Of course, this can only be done after a long period of planning. Therefore, I could only pretend that I didn't care about Qian Yuqing, and furthermore, I had to pretend that I felt very uncomfortable. First, I put on an act in front of Qingya and Donghuang Baiji in the imperial palace, making it seem as if I felt very uncomfortable. Then, I soared into the sky in front of the two women's eyes, making it seem as if the knot in my heart had been resolved. In actuality, during those few days, I had been scheming on how to make those two women take the initiative to push Qian Yuqing into my embrace. After arriving at God's realm, I ignored Qian Yuqing. Even when I pressed Qian Yuqing onto the bed, I endured it all. The mission that I gave Wei Chang was to definitely make Qingya and Donghuang Baiji come up to me. If they don't come up to me, how would they be able to hear about Qian Yuqing's tragic incident? This was all thanks to the emperor's assistance. Afterward, I had to put on an act in front of Qingya and Donghuang Baiji, making them think back to how I was back then. At that time, I would definitely have a feeling that my heart is in sync with mine, and they would definitely pity Qian Yuqing. In the end, everything went according to what I had planned. Therefore, in order to give Qingya and Donghuang Baiji a proper reason to come up to me, I had simply gone in a big circle. Therefore, from the very start, my plan was to get the beautiful woman Qian Yuqing. As for the rest, those are just collateral damage. After all, my personality of liking super beautiful women hasn't changed. Ha ha ha. I am still as outstanding as ever. I want to keep a low profile, but my strength doesn't allow me to do so. Furthermore, by doing this, Qian Yuqing will become a super obedient woman. Because she will be afraid of me getting angry, no matter how excessive my request is, I will still agree to it. Thinking about it, this is indeed a bit exciting. This kind of secret matter, I naturally won't tell Qian Yuqing about it. Right now, my skill in deceiving people is truly becoming more and more superb. Everyone who doesn't know about it might even think that I am targeting the emperor. Am I that bored? If it wasn't for me wanting everything to become a matter of course, I wouldn't have done these boring things. End of this chapter. Chapter 1059. I already can't wait to see Qian Yuqing lying on the bed. I didn't even play enough with her that day. It's a pity. If Qingya and Donghuang Baiji knew the truth, they would definitely vomit blood from anger. Back then, Qing Yutong was also messed up like this, but that time, it was an accident and not arranged by Yihua. This time, it was a proper arrangement. Everything was as it should be, and there was not the slightest flaw. Meticulous. Yi Juetian and Yi Yuanqing looked at their big brother blankly. This confident look of his, he even deceived his own wife. My God, he is simply too outstanding. I have to mourn for sister-in-law for a minute in my heart. Big brother has really changed, he has become too shrewd. Big brother, did you start planning from the moment I appeared? Yi Juetian muttered. Yi Hua said indifferently. More or less, if I didn't chase you away, why would you tell Yuqing about it? Yuqing wouldn't have come down, and she wouldn't have stood at the entrance of the palace for a few days and nights. Big brother, sister-in-law standing at the entrance of the palace was all for sister-in-law and the others to see, right? Yi Yuanqing asked blankly. That's natural, women all have the feeling of being in the same boat. If Big brother isn't a bit more ruthless, how can I have a good life? Although Yi Hua didn't have a complacent expression on his face, his heart was very inflated. In terms of deceiving a wife, if I dare to say that I am number 2, no one would dare to say that they are number 1. Big brother, you are still the awesome one. Yi Juetian raised his thumb, truly admiring Yi Hua. Big brother, something isn't right. Why is the royal family involved in this matter? Why is there a risk? Yi Yuanqing asked curiously. Yi Hua let out a deep sigh, then said indifferently, a woman has to like the current you, not the past you, understand? Big brother is only doing this so that the current me will be deeply engraved in her heart, and not the past me. Today's wedding ceremony is the finale, and your sister-in-law has already been deeply captured by me. Yi Hua said lightly. It wasn't easy to achieve what he had today. If I accepted Qian Yuqing from the start, then in her heart, I would still be the past me. Although they were both the Supreme Overlord, it still made the Supreme Overlord unhappy. The Supreme Overlord's woman only thought of the Supreme Overlord in her heart, while all other men were directly crushed into pieces. However, there was still an important problem. Qian Yuqing's father was his enemy. Marrying the daughter of the enemy before taking revenge was indeed a straightforward way of doing things. I, the Supreme Overlord, still haven't thought of a good way to deal with this matter. Therefore, I will first collect some interest. There shouldn't be anything wrong with a daughter paying a father's debt, right? I'll have to trouble Lady Yuqing in the future. My bed is quite comfortable, but it's not that easy to climb onto. I suddenly realized that men are so scary. Yi Yuanqing shuddered. Big Brother could have brought the beauty home, but he took such a roundabout way just to make everything reasonable. His scalp went numb. Meanwhile, Yi Juetian's eyes shone with golden light. Big Brother, you are my blood-related big brother. I will leave my little brother's happy life in your hands. Yi Hua patted onto his little brother's shoulder. Don't worry, with Big Brother and a bunch of extras around, no matter how arrogant a woman is, I will still be able to get my hands on her. Furthermore, I will love her to the point that you will not be able to let go of her. Big Brother. My big brother. Yi Juetian was so excited that he immediately hugged onto Yi Hua. This feels great. In the future, I am going to marry 7 to 8 women, and every single one of them will love me to death. This feels great. Alright, only the two of you know about this matter, so don't speak about it. Understood. Yi Yuanqing pouted his mouth. Big Brother is so bad. However, overall, this Big Brother is much more interesting than the previous Big Brother. I plan to bring my mother down tomorrow. Juetian, do you want to come along? Yi Hua asked. Of course, I will have a bright future if I follow Big Brother. Yi Juetian raised both of his hands in approval. What fun is there in this place? Only by following Big Brother will it be interesting. Big Brother still has to find me a wife. Yi Hua nodded his head, then looked towards Yi Yuanqing. Yi Yuanqing lightly bit onto his lips, then said, Big Brother, I will come and visit you in the future, alright? Looking at his little sister's wronged look, Yi Hua patted onto Yi Yuanqing's head. Don't worry, Big Brother will always welcome you. Take this. Yi Hua took out a bell and passed it to Yi Yuanqing. Big Brother, what is this? This is a good thing. If there is danger, ring the bell. When the time comes, there will be a surprise. Yi Hua naturally had to give his little sister a guarantee. After all, he had already fallen out with the royal family. If the emperor didn't die, he would definitely think of ways to harm his little sister. Even if he didn't harm her now, he would still harm her in the future. This was just a matter of time. Yi Yuanqing obediently kept the bell. Thank you, Big Brother. If you are free, come and find Big Brother to play. I am going to rest. Yi Hua said faintly. He placed down the feed in his hands, then turned around and walked towards his own room. Yi Yuanqing looked at his big brother's back view and felt a bit sad in his heart. If only Big Brother could stay behind and revive Yi family. I am not as powerful as Big Brother, so I definitely wouldn't be able to do it. Second sister, you will definitely be able to do it. Yi Juetian said sincerely at the side. He naturally knew what his second sister was thinking about. His second sister had always wanted to surpass his big brother, but looking at his big brother's recent performance, it was completely impossible for her to surpass his big brother. Putting aside his strength, just his meticulousness in thinking was completely incomparable. He was even more shrewd than a woman. Yi Yuanqing let out a light sigh. Yi Hua, who returned to his room, was indeed a bit tired. I have finally finished my last task today, and I am a bit tired. Recently, I have also killed a lot of my brain cells, but in the end my plan still succeeded. I am getting more and more proficient in this scheme of mine. Who am I going to look for next time to lie to? Lie to them to the point that they wouldn't even know how they died. This way of playing with people's hearts is indeed rather terrifying. Tisk. Gradually, Yi Hua fell asleep. Not knowing how long Yi Hua slept for, Yi Hua felt that his nose was a bit itchy. These two women, just how old are they already? To think that they are still treating me as a little girl. Yi Hua opened his eyes, and Qinya, who was sitting at the bedside, was currently using her beautiful hair to brush against Yihua's nose. Look, if I, the Supreme Overlord, had said that I am going to take Qian Yuqing as my wife back then, would they still have this kind of expression? What are you doing? Yihua said in a deep voice with a bit of a temper. Both his expression and his acting were on point. Right now he was just like a professional actor. Donghuang Baiji held onto Yihua's big hand and said cutely, I am master, don't be angry, it's just a small matter. I found you a beautiful wife, and you are still unhappy about it. That's right, that's right. Didn't Yutong just go out just now? It just so happens that she can replace Yutong's position. Tang Baobao glared at Donghuang Baiji and Donghuang Baiji. Is this a matter of replacing Yutong's position? I say, is there something wrong with the two of you? In the past, you didn't allow me to look at other women, and when I look at other women, I would get jealous. And right now you even took the initiative to find a wife for me. What? Do you not want to serve me anymore? End of this chapter. Chapter 1060. Hubby, hubby, the two lovely wives shouted sweetly. It was really too tiresome. Look at this, look at this. What do you mean by wife discipline? I found a concubine, and I still have to make them beg me. How comfortable is this? Women, don't think that I will have to find another woman just because you coax me. Don't even think about it in the future. Yihua said petulantly. All right, in the future, we will be obedient and serve you, master. All right, let's go and eat. Today, your new wife is cooking personally. Give her some face and praise her a few more times. Qingya said tenderly. Even Qian Yuqing is so pitiful. I can't bear to see her like this. Yihua snorted coldly, hee. Please, hubby. Donghuang Baiji immediately began acting cute. Donghuang Baiji clenched her fist and placed it on her mouth, looking extremely cute. To be able to make the Empress do such an action, it means that she is truly sincere. Yihua pretended to remain silent for a long time, then said, for the sake of the two of you, I won't say anything later on, okay? Aya, just say one sentence. Qingya begged bitterly. Why does Yihua look down on Qian Yuqing so much? This is too strange. Qian Yuqing is so good-looking, so gentle and considerate. She is the goddess that men yearn for even in their dreams. Donghuang Baiji said tenderly. That's right, just say that this dish is not bad, I beg of you. Yihua laughed loudly in his heart. These two wives of mine are simply too pure and silly. With the two of them around, it is truly great. Yihua lightly hugged Qingya and Donghuang Baiji into his embrace. These two women are my true loves in this life. After cuddling for quite a while. Master, let me help you change your clothes, Qingya and Donghuang Baiji said tenderly. With a smile on his face, Yihua stood up and spread out both of his arms, completely not moving. Being served by his two wives, life should be like this. I must have obedient wives, and if I were to marry disobedient wives, what's the point of marrying them? Of course, if I want my wife to be obedient, I need to be strong enough and be able to suppress them. Yo, I didn't expect that our Yihua's dressing is so delicate, so handsome. Yeah, this long hair really matches. And this robe, it looks so cold. I like it. The Empress seemed to like Yihua's cold and aloof appearance. Forget about the mischievous Yihua. That Yihua is definitely fake. Qingya laughed tenderly. Hee, I also like Yihua's cold and aloof look. At times like this, he would reveal a little bit of a smile from time to time, and it's simply mesmerizing. Yihua said gravely. Two love-struck fools. Have you never seen a man before? How frivolous. After saying that, he took the lead and walked out, but the corners of his mouth curved up subtly. TSK, he's just praising him. He's so full of himself. You're snickering. Don't you know him? He's someone who wants to save face no matter what. Donghuang Baiji covered her mouth and laughed. Sometimes, Yihua is just this charming. That's right, he wants to save face. The two women laughed, then caught up to Yihua, who was walking in front of them. One on the left and the other on the right. The two women held each other's arms, looking very blissful. However, if the two women were to find out the truth, they definitely wouldn't have this expression on their faces right now. They would definitely have a cold war, and they might even want to divorce. The three walked into Lu Jing's courtyard. The lights in the courtyard were still lit. and Qian Yuqing could be seen walking into the courtyard while carrying the dishes. Then, she hurriedly walked out of the courtyard while carrying the dishes, and in the next moment, she appeared while carrying the dishes. Look at Yuqing, then look at the two of you. You two are truly getting lazier and lazier. Look at Yuqing, she's so virtuous. You have profited from her. Qinya persuaded earnestly. That's right, that's right. She even has a look of unwillingness on her face. Donghuang Baiji pouted her mouth. Yihua couldn't help but want to say, you two are truly getting more and more arrogant. I, the Supreme Overlord, have spoiled you too. Yuqing is definitely not spoiled anymore. The three walked out of the courtyard, and they just happened to see Qian Yuqing walking out of the courtyard and preparing to carry the dishes. Looking at Yihua's appearance, Qian Yuqing immediately lowered her head and stood at the side, seemingly afraid that Yihua would blame her or scold her. When Yihua saw this, he felt that he might have scolded Qian Yuqing too much and caused her to have a shadow in her heart. To think that Qian Yuqing would be scared to this extent after seeing me walking over. However, Yihua immediately felt a pain coming from his waist. These two women, I, the Supreme Overlord, am truly speechless. Let us help you carry the dishes, Qinya said tenderly. In her heart, she was blaming Yihua. Why did you scare Yuqing to this extent? Look at how much Yuqing is afraid of you. You two are truly pitiful. Qian Yuqing hurriedly said. No need, no need. There are only a few dishes left. You two go in first. I will bring the dishes over immediately. After finished speaking, Qian Yuqing ran into the kitchen. Yihua turned a goddess from the god's realm into an obedient maid. He truly isn't simple. When a man subdues a so-called goddess, that sense of superiority would definitely be great, just like how Yihua was feeling right now. 2 words. Exciting. Walking into the kitchen, various kinds of delicacies were placed on the table. It could clearly be seen that these delicacies were prepared by Qian Yuqing meticulously. You are here, quickly sit. Lu Jing smiled tenderly. Right now, our family is reunited. This feels great. The 3 sat down. At this moment, Qian Yuqing carried the last dish over, then stood at the side, not daring to sit. Meanwhile, Lu Jing looked at her son, seemingly wanting her son to speak. Qinya and Donghuang Baiji didn't speak, but their delicate hands were already pinching onto Yihua's waist. Speak, idiot. The 2 of you let go of me, idiot. It won't hurt. Qian Yuqing stood at the side pitifully with her head slightly lowered, and even biting onto her lips. Her heart was already filled with grievance to the limit, and tears were already swirling in her eyes. Sit. Yihua, who was the head of the family, finally spoke. Qian Yuqing even felt that she was hallucinating. Just now Yihua actually told me to sit. Is this real? When everyone saw Qian Yuqing's dazed look, they felt truly helpless. Just how much does one have to like her? Yuqing, quickly sit. Qinya said tenderly, then stood up and pressed Qian Yuqing onto her chair, then sat at the side. Qian Yuqing didn't react for a moment, then hurriedly stood up. Qinya, you sit here, I will sit at the side. It's fine, sit. Qinya said tenderly, then directly sat down. Yuqing, sit, it's fine. Lu Jing said tenderly. These 2 daughters-in-law of mine are very sensible, and I am also happy for my son. Only after her mother spoke did Qian Yuqing finally feel at ease. It's just that, it's been a long time since I sat beside Yihua, and I feel very uneasy and nervous, to the point where I don't even know how to speak. Sorry, I came late. Yi Juetian could be seen running over in a hurry, then casually sat down on the chair. However, after sitting down, Yi Juetian felt that the atmosphere wasn't right. After taking a look at everyone, Yi Juetian chose to lower his head and remain silent. How old are you already? Yet you are still so impulsive. Lu Jing said lightly. If only this youngest son of mine is half as successful as my eldest son, it would be great. End of chapter. Chapter 1061. Yi Juetian felt helpless. As expected, the moment Big Brother came back, he started lecturing me. In the past, when Big Brother was still around, he would often lecture me like this too. Daji, you sit as well. Yihua said faintly. Daji, who was standing beside Lu Jing, was actually a bit gloomy. Master has a new wife again, but I still don't have a share. I feel so sad, I feel like crying. No need, I'll just stand, Daji said with a little temper. However, when Yihua glared at her, the latter immediately sat down in fright. Lu Jing shook her head. This Yihua, shouldn't he be gentler to girls? He glares at me for no reason. Alright, our family is finally reunited. Let's eat. Lu Jing was rather happy today. I haven't been this happy for a long time. Yi Juetian immediately started eating. Sister-in-law, the dishes that you made are so delicious, so fragrant. Then Juetian, you should eat more. Tian Yuqing said softly. In actuality, she wanted to hear Yihua say this sentence more. At this moment, Donghuang Baiji coughed lightly, seemingly reminding Yihua to speak. Qingya followed closely behind her. Sisters-in-law, are you coughing? Yi Juetian, who didn't know what was going on, asked honestly. Yihua felt that he should praise Tian Yuqing. Even if she was acting, she shouldn't make others too sad. The dishes are pretty good. Yihua said faintly. When Lu Jing heard her son's words, a smile appeared on her face. This is a sign of loosening up. Yuqing will also be happy in the future. Tian Yuqing naturally heard it too. She was very happy in her heart, and all of the unhappiness in her heart disappeared. Actually, women are quite simple. They just want to hear the man they like praise them and say some sweet words. Love needs to be expressed. If you don't express it, who would know? Yihua, eat more. If it's not enough, I will make more for you. Just now, Tian Yuqing didn't dare to pick up any food for Yihua as she was afraid of being scolded. But now, she picked up the food with all her might, wishing that she could give the best food to Yihua. Alright, that's enough. Yihua said softly. This sentence was like a bucket of cold water, extinguishing Tian Yuqing's enthusiasm. Yihua is despising me again. Right now, Tian Yuqing seemed to be in the midst of being passionately in love with Yihua, and she would have a kind of feeling of worrying about personal gains and losses. Both Qingya and Donghuang Baiji had been through this kind of situation before, and right now they were already an old couple. Mother, let us go down together tomorrow. Yihua said calmly. Of course, Lu Jing knew that her son would leave after finishing his business. Yes, but you must take Yuqing with you. Otherwise, I won't leave. Yes. Yihua said faintly. Didn't I, the Supreme Overlord, do all these things just so that I can bring Tian Yuqing back? Tian Yuqing, who was gloomy just a moment ago, immediately became happy again. Tian Yuqing felt that she was going to go crazy. Just a casual sentence from Yihua is able to make me feel happy to death, or at the same time, make me feel sad to death. Yihua, you have to worry about your younger brother's matters too. He's not young anymore. It's about time for him to have a family. Yi Juetian rolled his eyes and said, Mother, I am still young. You're still young. He's already more than 1,000 years old. Other men who are more than 1,000 years old have children that are already hundreds of years old. Lu Jing's words made the other wives laugh. Their mother was quite humorous. Mother, I will take note of my younger brother's matters. Yihua said gravely. After all, Yihua is my blood-related younger brother. When it comes to finding a woman, I mustn't act recklessly. At the very least, my Yi family's door must reach an outstanding standard. Lu Jing let out a breath. Yihua is still the sensible one. This youngest son of mine can only hope that he will be more sensible after he gets married. Yihua, where are those little grandchildren of mine? When are you going to bring mother to take a look at them? Right now, Lu Jing was able to see her daughter-in-law, but right now, she wanted to see her grandchildren as well. Those pictures all look so cute. Yihua immediately felt that something was wrong. Mother, Yihua even dared to chase away your little grandchildren. Qingya immediately acted pitiful. It must be said, everyone in this house is a drama queen. Donghuang Baiji was the same as well. That's right, Mother. Yihua threw the children out and said that they will only be allowed to return after they become adults. We might not be able to see the children for more than 10 years. How old are they? Yihua, what's going on? This was the first time that Lu Jing heard such a thing, and she immediately asked her son. Tian Yuqing was also very curious. Why would Yihua chase the children away? This is too heartless, isn't it? Yi Juetian was the same as well. No matter what, I am already an uncle now. Mother, don't listen to their nonsense. The children only went out to study. Yihua explained. However, Qingya was still very conflicted about this problem. Even so, we still have to let them come back to take a look at us. Qingye was unwilling to accept this. Yi Hua's expression became stiff, and his tone became a bit higher. Back then, the two of you have already agreed to it, so don't bring it up anymore. Lu Jing was a bit confused. Why is Yi Hua's temper so bad, scolding his wife just because of a slight disagreement? Yi Hua, it is normal for a mother to miss her children. There is no need to speak so harshly. Lu Jing said attentively, comforting Qingye. Qian Yuqing also wanted to say something for Qingye, but she didn't dare to, as she was afraid that Yi Hua would scold her as well. Yi Hua let out a breath and didn't say anything else. These two women just had to come and anger me, to say this matter in front of my mother. Do you think that I, the Supreme Overlord, will compromise just because of this? Don't even think about disciplining your children. Was there any lack of stories about a doting mother causing a wastrel? Just look at Yi Juetian. If Yi Juetian knew what his big brother was thinking about, he would definitely be dumbstruck. What does this have to do with me? I really didn't say anything, and yet, I still have to get implicated. Qingye and Donghuang Baiji felt wronged in their hearts. What's wrong with a mother looking at her child? What law did he break? You are already allowed to find a new wife, and you are also given such a big benefit. Shouldn't you be giving us some benefit? This is also because I am looking after my mother. If not, I would have definitely made a fuss with you. This meal ended under this strange atmosphere. After Yi Hua finished eating, he stood up and said faintly, "Mother, I will be returning to my room first. You should rest early." All right. Yi Hua didn't care about the others and left first. As his daughter-in-law, Yi Juetian naturally had to clear the table. And so Yi Juetian secretly ran away. I am going to go far away tomorrow. I am so excited, so excited. Mother, I will be returning first then. Qian Yuqing said obediently. All right, be careful on your way back. And Qingye Baiji, see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. After Qian Yuqing left, Lu Jing began comforting her two daughters-in-law. Lu Jing scolded Yi Hua in all sorts of ways and let her daughters-in-law calm down. Needless to say, it was quite effective. Right now, Yi Hua didn't go to rest, and instead, he was sitting in the pavilion in the courtyard and smoking. Mother's illness isn't big, but it isn't small either. I have also taken a look at the spiritual spring, and while it is indeed able to slow down the illness, it is not able to completely get rid of the illness. End of this chapter. Chapter 1062. This disease was truly rare. When the time came, Shifeng would have Absolute Heaven take a look at it. If Absolute Heaven was able to find Qing Su, he should be able to do something about it. After all, Qing Su was an expert in this field. The Qing Su that Yi Hua was thinking about was precisely one of the remaining 7 sins. Qing Su was a very arrogant and very virtuous person, and he had an appearance of I'm the boss. Yi Hua felt that this fellow was going to establish his own sect. I remember the first time we met, this fellow was selling fake medicine, and was nearly beaten to death by someone. If it wasn't for me saving him, he would definitely be dead. However, as one of the 7 deadly sins, Qing Su naturally had his own unique skill, which was quite interesting. As for the last one, Yi Hua took a deep breath. This one is a bit tricky to deal with, because his jealousy is too strong, and he is also the most disobedient one. This time, I have to properly teach him a lesson. Just as Yi Hua was thinking, 2 beautiful figures walked into the courtyard, and without saying anything, they entered the house. These 2 women even threw a tantrum. Back then, they had already agreed on it, and now that I'm using this Supreme Overlord to look for a new wife, they actually threw a tantrum. His ego was extremely inflated. Yi Hua extinguished the cigarette butt and walked into the house. Qingye and Donghuang Baiji could be seen taking off their clothes and preparing to sleep. Since they were already an old couple, Qingye and Donghuang Baiji were not shy at all. Just like that, they took off all of their clothes, then burrowed into the quilt and did not say a single word. Their meaning was clear. You've angered us, so why aren't you pacifying us? Hurry up. You want me, the Supreme Overlord, to coax you all? That is impossible. Where will I sleep? Yi Hua said gravely. The bed wasn't big to begin with, so it was a little crowded for 3 people to sleep on. You can sleep wherever you want to sleep. Qingye snorted. To actually say such words. Are you trying to anger us to death? Go and sleep on the floor. Yihua didn't give face at all, and actually told his wife to sleep on the floor. Donghuang Baiji chuckled. You can sleep on the floor by yourself, we are going to sleep on the bed. F***ck, you guys are too arrogant. With just this kind of attitude, I, the Supreme Overlord, will smack your butts into mush at any moment. After sitting down for a while, Yihua took off his clothes, then sat on the side of the bed. Go and sleep inside a bit. Qingye and Donghuang Baiji hugged each other, completely ignoring Donghuang Baiji. Too arrogant. Yihua directly squeezed his way in. Yihua, what are you doing? Where are you trying to squeeze us to? Qingye said tenderly. This shameless man is actually throwing a tantrum. Bastard, I am already sticking to the side. Donghuang Baiji was sleeping at the innermost part of the room, and right now, she was about to squeeze onto the wall. It has nothing to do with me. Yihua was very arrogant. To think that it is reasonable for me to forcibly occupy my bed. You, bully. Damn it, just who is bullying who? I, the Supreme Overlord, have wasted so many brain cells for you all's feelings. How much conscience do I have? You're still holding on to the children's matter. However, squeezing his wife was indeed a little too much. Thus, Yihua directly sat in the middle and hugged onto his two wives. This way he felt much more comfortable. However, Qingye and Donghuang Baiji still had angry looks on their faces. If you didn't coax them back then, what are you trying to do now? Alright, the children are living very well right now, and time is passing by very quickly as well. We will be able to see the children very soon. Yihua said lightly. Of course, Yihua knew that the girls were missing the children, and I, the Supreme Overlord, was also missing the children as well. Qingye and Donghuang Baiji lightly bit onto their lips, then lightly snuggled into Yihua's embrace. Yihua caressed onto his wives' hair, then kissed onto their forehead. Go to sleep, we will go back together tomorrow. To be able to make Yihua lower his status and coax people, unless he really did something wrong, it was already very good for him to be able to speak properly with his wife right now. At this moment in Qian family, Qian Yuqing was very happy. She was currently packing up her things, as she was going to return home with Yihua tomorrow. After waiting for over 1,000 years, this day is finally here. I am so excited. Dong dong dong. Yuqing, are you asleep? Qian Yi's voice rang out from outside the door. Qian Yuqing naturally knew why her father came over. Thus she opened the door and asked, Father, what's the matter? Qian Yi already knew about what happened today. At the same time, she was also very astonished and shocked. Her daughter nearly died in the hands of the groom. If that really happened, then her daughter would really be in so much pain that she would rather die. However, Yihua was indeed someone who made people look at him in a whole new light. He was much more shrewd than before, and he was able to completely suppress the emperor. Yuqing, are you preparing to go? Looking at her daughter's clothes that were placed on the chair, Qian Yi asked curiously. Qian Yuqing pursed her lips and did not say anything. Qian Yi let out a deep sigh. Are you preparing to go with Yihua? Qian Yuqing nodded her head. I have been waiting for this day for far too long. Live well, don't worry about father. Qian Yi had also clearly seen that compared to Huang Yun, Yihua was much better. If it wasn't for Yihua today, her daughter might have already died. Qian Yuqing thought that her father would come over to persuade her, but she didn't expect that it would actually be like this. Father, don't worry, when I have time, I will come back to visit you. Qian Yuqing held onto her father's hands that were filled with wrinkles and said reluctantly. Sparkling and translucent tears condensed out from her beautiful eyes. Qian Yi laughed lightly. Silly child. What are you crying for? Haven't you been waiting for this day all along? Father. Qian Yuqing threw herself into her father's embrace and cried bitterly. This time, she was even sadder than when she got married. After all, back then, she was only married into Yi family that was a few streets away from her. However, this time it was different. They were basically not on the same plane. Qian Yi's eyes were also a bit red. She lightly stroked her daughter's back. All right. How old are you already? Why are you still crying like this? Don't let others see you as a joke. I'm not afraid of other people laughing at me. Qianyi laughed and did not say anything. In actuality, there was already a rumor going around in Lingdu. Everyone was saying that Qian Yuqing was fated to bring bad luck to her husband. Back then, she brought bad luck to Yihua, and today, she brought bad luck to Huang Yun. There were even people saying that a woman who had been married twice would not be able to get married, which represented misfortune. Qian Yi didn't wish for her daughter to hear these rumors. It was good for her to follow Yihua. It would save her from worrying. Yuqing, if you are unhappy, then come back. You will always be father's good daughter. This was Qian Yi's final instruction. And thank you, father. All right, rest early. Qian Yi stretched out her hand and wiped away her daughter's tears. She couldn't bear to see her daughter like this. Qian Yuqing nodded her head. Looking at her father leaving, that back view of her father seemed a bit lonely. Right now, inside the imperial palace, Huang Feidi was kneeling in front of a memorial tablet. In actuality, ever since he returned, he had been kneeling in front of the memorial tablet, seemingly pleading for something. This was a very well-hidden secret door, seemingly no one knew about it. And on the memorial tablet, Dong Huanghao's name was actually engraved. Huang Feidi waited silently, and his mind was filled with the scene of Yihua hounding his son to death. This damnable Yihua, he will die a horrible death. I will grind your bones and scatter your ashes. I will behead your entire family and hang them at the city gate until your bones turn into ashes. End of this chapter. Chapter 1063. Now it was his son's corpse. No one went to collect the corpses. He had been expelled from the royal family, and he had killed his brother. Who would go and collect the corpse of such a person? They would even spit on him and step on him a few times. Huang Feidi, who was kneeling on the ground, clenched his fists tightly. Yihua is definitely going to die. At this moment, Huang Feidi suddenly sensed someone standing in front of him. His heart leaped with joy. Without saying anything, he kowtowed 3 times before respectfully shouting, "Old ancestor." That's right. The surname Dong Huang was actually Huang Feidi's real surname. However, he didn't have the qualifications yet, so he only had the word Huang in his name. When he was strong enough, he would be able to recover his surname. This was also the greatest secret of the imperial family. This was also the biggest secret of the god's realm. No one knew about it. Only the past emperors knew about it. This was also a common form of address. As long as one's surname was Dong Huang, Huang Feidi would address him this way. What happened? The man standing in front of Huang Feidi slowly asked. His voice sounded quite young, and didn't sound like that of an old man. However, his voice sounded a little neutral. Old ancestor, you must uphold justice for the younger generation. Huang Feidi fiercely knocked his head on the ground. His banging sounds resounded in the secret chamber, causing one's heart to throb. The man slowly walked to the side and sat down. He gently rubbed the table with his fingers and asked, "Tell me." Huang Feidi slowly stood up and respectfully walked in front of the man. Then he cast a sidelong glance at him. This old ancestor was so weird. The man looked at Huang Feidi, who hurriedly lowered his head. If Qing Yutong was here, she would definitely recognize the old ancestor Huang Feidi. Wasn't this the Ing Kongshi who had his wick destroyed back then? That's right. The one sitting in front of Huang Feidi was none other than Ing Kongshi himself. However, Ing Kongshi was no longer called Ing Kongshi, but Dong Huanging. Ing Kongshi had already offered his soul, but he still had an unfulfilled wish in his heart. That was Dong Huang Baiji, because Dong Huanging was the man who was going to marry the empress. For this goal, he did not hesitate to sell his soul. However, it had to be said that Ing Kongshi's luck was quite good. Back then, he was looked down upon by everyone in the Ing family, but what about now? The emperor of the god's realm had to kneel in front of him and call him ancestor. This sense of superiority made the Eastern emperor feel very good. They felt that they would marry the empress sooner or later and serve the empress. Ancestor, just today someone forced my son to death, bringing shame to the Donghuang family. Huang Feidi said in grief and indignation. Now that things have come to this, only by having the old ancestor appear would we be able to kill that bastard Yihua. Dong Huanging didn't have much of a reaction after hearing it. He asked indifferently, "Oh, is there such a thing? Who is this person?" "He is called Yihua." Hearing this familiar name, Dong Huangning was moved. Back then, it was this man who stopped me from marrying the empress. That damned man, he definitely had to snatch the empress back and then marry Dong Huang Baiji. However, Dong Huangning didn't know if the Yi Hua that Huang Feidy was talking about was the same person. So he suddenly took out a photo. Is it this person? Dong Huangning asked in a deep voice. Huang Feidy raised his head slightly and took a look. Even if it turned into air, this emperor would still recognize it. Yes, that's him. Dong Huangning kept the photo properly. I didn't expect this. We meet again so soon. Yi Hua, return my empress back to me. I understand, I will make arrangements for this matter. Thank you, old ancestor. When Huang Feidy raised his head again, the old ancestor in front of him had already disappeared. Slightly letting out a breath of relief, Huang Feidy straightened his back. Those who dare to go against me shall all die. At that time, I will bathe spirit capital in blood. Meanwhile, within a misty land, Dong Huangning appeared outside of a room. The surroundings were hazy, giving off a kind of illusory feeling, making it hard to differentiate between what was real and what was fake. Master. Dong Huangning shouted out respectfully. How is it? Dong Huangning said honestly. Huang Feidy wants to use the Dong Huang surname. From the looks of it, Dong Huangning didn't intend to tell the truth, because in Dong Huangning's heart, Yi Hua is a man that I want to kill, and I can't allow others to kill Yi Hua. Dong Huang Baiji is also a woman that I want to marry. Furthermore, from the looks of it, Dong Huang Baiji and this Dong Huangning have some sort of relationship, but I'm not sure yet. You only know how to daydream. Pay less attention to him in the future. A displeased voice rang out from the room. Yes, master. Dong Huangning replied respectfully. I heard that Meng Yao is currently facing her tribulation, and if she succeeds, she will become the first female god. Go and prepare a congratulatory gift. Yes. Master. You can leave now. Yes. Dong Huangning left respectfully, then went to prepare a congratulatory gift. Of course, there was also a plan to kill Yi Hua, and then marry the empress in a grand manner. That would be such a beautiful day. I am truly looking forward to that day. Yi family. Today Yi Hua woke up very early. His two wives who were on the bed were still sleeping in. Towards Qingye and Dong Huang Baiji, Yi Hua sighed. In the past I never slept in, but now I have learned to sleep in. Sometimes, I would even sleep until noon before waking up. I don't even care about breakfast. Fortunately, I brought along a blood demon with me back then. If not, I would have starved to death here. However, right now I have a good idea. Qingye Baiji mother doesn't really like daughters-in-law sleeping in. Yi Hua, who had already finished washing up, said faintly. Qingye and Dong Huang Baiji, who were on the bed, could be seen opening their beautiful eyes. Suddenly, they recalled that I have a mother-in-law now as well. Yi Hua, why didn't you say so earlier? That's right, it's over. We didn't even go and greet our mother-in-law or anything. You guys should have such a custom, right? Dong Huang Baiji said anxiously. Qingye nodded her head. That's for sure. As daughters-in-law, after waking up in the morning, I definitely have to go and greet my mother-in-law. That's how it is played in movies. Yi Hua stood at the side and didn't say anything. I really don't know if there is such a custom or not, but if there is, I have to get rid of this lazy habit of mine. Yi Hua, pass the clothes to us. What are you still standing there for? Qingye, who was sitting on the bed, shouted out. Yi Hua shook his head. The two of you are becoming more and more undignified. Dong Huang Baiji snorted. We are already an old couple, it's not like we haven't seen each other before. It seems like I have to deal with two female hooligans. After everything was settled, the three walked out of the room. Yi Hua didn't feel like staying here. Even though he had slept here for a few days, he still felt that this place was very unfamiliar. Yi Hua, are we really not going to greet your father? Qingye asked softly. Hearing that, Yi Hua said faintly, there's no need. Alright, seems like there is a conflict between this father and son. Qingye and Dong Huang Baiji still don't know that the moment Yi Hua came over, he violently beat up his own father. The two women didn't question Yi Hua's decision to go. They understood Yi Hua's temper very well, and the things that Yi Hua said were very hard to change. Chapter 1064. Walking into his mother's courtyard, he saw Qian Yuqing at a glance. The well-behaved and sensible Qian Yuqing came over early in the morning. She seemed to be learning how to make tea from daji, looking like a good wife and loving mother. Lu Jing sat at the side and watched with a smile. Now was the time to enjoy the happiness of a family. Mother. Yihua walked into the room and called out lightly. Right now he was getting more and more fluent in calling out his mother's name. Qingya and Donghuang Baiji greeted respectfully as well. Seeing that Yihua had arrived, Qian Yuqing hurriedly stood up and obediently sat down. Yihua was very satisfied with Qian Yuqing's attitude. As a wife, one must have this kind of awareness. Look at these two, they are not even afraid of me right now. What about Ju Tian? Yihua asked lightly. Big brother, I'm here. Yi Juetian could be seen running over while carrying a huge bag on his back. From Yihua's perspective, Yi Juetian looked just like he was rushing for the spring festival. Yihua paused for a moment, then asked, Don't you have a storage ring? This is more like moving. Don't you think so, sisters-in-law? Yi Juetian grinned. Towards this blood-related younger brother of Yihua's, the few women could be said to have a good impression of him. If Yihua was a silent gourd, then Yi Juetian would be a happy person. Yihua was helpless. In the future, I have to properly discipline this little brother of mine. Mother, let's head down now. Yihua said faintly. All right, let's go. Mother also wants to go out for a walk. It's been a long time since I left this courtyard, said Lu Jing with a gentle smile. In the past few days, Lu Jing's complexion had improved a lot. If she used to look like a 60-year-old person, she now looked like a 40-year-old, radiant and radiant. Yihua nodded his head and slowly raised his hand. With a bang and a snap of fingers, the people in the courtyard disappeared in an instant. It must be said that snapping his fingers was Yihua's favorite gesture. It was too sensational. However, not long after Yihua left, Yishan slowly walked into the courtyard. Looking at the empty courtyard, Yishan let out a light sigh and closed the door. His originally straight back bent slightly. Yi Yuanqing also felt that his big brother had left. He had a smile on his face. After he was done with his business, he would go and see his big brother. His big brother was the emperor down there, so he was also a little princess. Haha, how interesting. Wushu Empire. This day was no different from usual. It was still bustling with noise and excitement. Ever since the last lesson, everyone had become much more well-behaved. No one dared to question the emperor's strength anymore. They either didn't kill or killed them all. As for the problem of the foreign tribes, that was not a problem. The emperor had a god behind him, and all his decisions were sacred. It seemed that in everyone's hearts, the gods were still supreme. Even if the gods said that shit smelled good, they would definitely cheer loudly. It smells so good, but at this time, something bad happened in the city. They saw a group of children jumping around a sloppily dressed woman with ridicule on their faces. The woman who had fallen to the ground had her head slightly lowered. Her beautiful hair was extremely dirty, and even her face was very dirty. Her body exuded a musty smell, as if she had not bathed for many days. In Wushu Empire, this was the first time he had seen such a person. After all, as long as they could move, they would be able to live well in Voidless Empire. Only a lazy person would be like this and be looked down upon by others. Meanwhile, this woman had clearly been here for a few days. In the beginning, everyone felt that she was pitiful and would give her a bit of charity, even helping her find a job. But who knew that this woman didn't know how to do a job at all? And furthermore, she was the kind of person who would only make things worse the more they tried to help. I have never seen such a stupid woman before. She couldn't even do a normal job like sweeping the streets well. She was simply a malignant tumor of Voidless Empire. Every day, when she walked on the streets, the stench would fill the air, and whether or not she would be able to take a bath would be up to the heavens. I really hope that the heavens will send down a rain and sober this woman up. Sloppy woman, dirty woman, big idiot, doesn't work, only goofs around freeloading. The children held hands and circled around the woman. The people in the surroundings also had a look of disdain on their faces. If not for the rules, they would really want to chase this woman out of Voidless Empire. This woman is truly throwing away Voidless Empire's face. The woman remained silent and fell to the ground. She didn't say anything, and she seemed very helpless. Outside the city wall, Yihua brought his mother and the others to his own territory. Lu Jing looked at the majestic city wall and revealed an expression of admiration. Although Qian Yuqing and Yi Juetian had seen the city wall before, right now, they still had to exclaim in admiration. This is too impressive, too extravagant. To build such a city wall, just how much money would it cost? Yihua, are you really the emperor of this city? Lu Jing didn't dare to believe it, and asked in astonishment. Mother, this is my city. Right now, Yihua felt incomparably proud, especially when he saw the praise in his mother's eyes. This was a kind of satisfaction. This kind of feeling is really good. Lu Jing nodded her head. Yihua, you have done well. Mother is proud of you. Yihua revealed a light smile. To be able to hear these words from his mother, anything is worth it. Big brother, are you going to give me the title of general or something? The kind where I lead troops to war. I also want to start a war. Yi Juetian was already impatient. In the god's realm, because of him being the emperor, he was unable to become a general, but in this place, big brother has the final say. Lu Jing said petulantly. You should marry a wife for mother first. After that, think about other things. Mother, if I don't start a career, how am I going to start a family? Right at this moment, Qinya said. As the saying goes, start a family, start a career, start a family first, then start a career. Sister-in-law, none of you are helping me at all. Yi Juetian pouted his mouth, then walked towards the city gate. Qinya and Donghuang Baiji supported Lu Jing on the left and right, and this was definitely the appearance of them trying to curry favor with their mother-in-law. Qian Yuqing had been trying to curry favor with Yihua for over 1,000 years, and thus, she gave the opportunity to Qinya and Donghuang Baiji, while she walked beside Yihua. In actuality, she really wanted to hold on to Yihua's hand, or hold on to Yihua's arm, but she didn't dare to. If Yihua were to fling her arm away, wouldn't that be very awkward? However, with mother by his side, Yihua had to give her face. Yihua, who was walking beside, Yihua was thinking to himself, you foolish woman. I am standing right beside you. Are you still not going to make a move? Are you still waiting for me to make a move? This opportunity is hard to come by. I wonder what you are afraid of. Qian Yuqing made up her mind and immediately hugged onto Yihua's arm. Furthermore, she hugged onto Yihua's arm very tightly, afraid that Yihua would fling her arm away. Yihua went into a daze for a moment. This Qian Yuqing, to be hugging onto me so tightly, seems like I have really scared her. However, being hugged onto by a beauty like Qian Yuqing, it is still rather comfortable. After all, Qian Yuqing's chest muscles are quite fierce. Seeing that Yihua actually did not fling her arm away, Qian Yuqing immediately became joyous, and a happy smile immediately appeared on her face. Her face was stuck onto Yihua's arm, and she was very happy. Chapter 1065. Qinya and Donghuang Baiji kept introducing Wushu Empire to Donghuang Baiji, as if this place was a historical place. Lu Jing listened with great interest. These management methods were really novel. Yi Juetian, on the other hand, ran away without a trace. He was really like a child. But he was already an adult. How could he get lost? Towards Yihua's appearance, the people immediately knelt down and kowtowed to him, then loudly shouted, "Long live the emperor, long live the empress." Of course, there was also the empress dowager Lu Jing. Yihua naturally had to accompany his mother to go shopping. This was sufficient to prove that the current Yihua also had a filial heart. This was truly hard to come by. Both Qinya and Donghuang Baiji were able to see Yihua's transformation during these few years. In the past, Yihua would always look at everyone with a kind of silence, as if he wasn't looking at anyone at all. But now, even when he was looking at his people, a different kind of feeling would appear in his gaze. It was as if he was concerned about everyone's life. This is what a good man should be like. Yi Juetian was currently strolling around Voidless Empire by himself, but everyone thought that Yi Juetian was the emperor, and they all knelt on the ground and shouted, "Long live the emperor!" There was no helping it. Yihua and Yi Juetian looked exactly the same, and people who were not familiar with each other would not be able to tell the difference at all. Yi Juetian felt helpless as well. I'm being treated as a big brother again. In the past, I've been treated as a big brother quite a few times. Sigh. I'm already used to it. However, right at this moment, Yi Juetian heard a strange song. Something didn't seem right. Following the source of the sound, Yi Juetian walked over and saw a group of children running in circles. There seemed to be a person in the middle. When the surrounding people saw that Yi Juetian had arrived, they were startled for a moment, then immediately knelt on the ground and shouted, "Long live the emperor!" Yi Juetian really didn't know how to explain. If he explained, wouldn't he lose face for his big brother? Wouldn't that be very embarrassing? Yi Juetian, who was helpless, waved his hand. He had even experienced the thrill of being an emperor. That was why it was said that following his big brother was the most important thing. When the children saw that the emperor had arrived, they hurriedly knelt down to pay their respects. What's going on? Yi Juetian imitated his big brother's expression and tone as he spoke, suppressing his voice. Not to mention, he even had a 50 to 60% resemblance to her. Yi Juetian looked at the girl lying on the ground and furrowed his brows. What was this girl trying to do? Right at this moment, a man who was dressed gorgeously walked over and said respectfully, "Your Majesty, this woman, she is very strange." The man didn't know what to say and could only describe it as weird. But it was indeed strange. Strange? How strange? Yi Juetian asked curiously as he walked towards the woman. He indeed felt that it was a bit strange. No matter what, he had the status of an emperor, yet she was still lying on the ground. Wasn't she going to pay her respects? Aren't you afraid of being beheaded? The man at the side respectfully explained for a while, and Yi Juetian finally understood. So it turned out to be a stupid woman. Looking at the dirty woman in front of him, Yi Juetian felt quite helpless. Should he interfere or not? If he didn't do anything, would he continue to be laughed at here? If he interfered, it seemed that his identity did not allow him to. What a dilemma! The woman on the ground seemed to sense that someone was beside her. She slowly raised her head and looked at Yi Juetian. Yi Juetian, who was deep in thought, also looked at the woman, and their eyes met. Yi Juetian looked at the woman's eyes. This pair of eyes is truly beautiful. They are just like clear spring water, and there isn't a single bit of filth in them. However, apart from her eyes, there was not a single spot on her body that was clean. Looking at the girl's eyes, Yi Juetian pursed his lips. With such a pair of intelligent eyes, how could she be a fool? It was really strange. The woman took a look at Yi Juetian, then slowly lowered her head. This helpless look of hers caused Yi Juetian to be at a loss. If Big Brother were to find out that I picked up a sloppy woman on the street and brought her back, *CK, don't say too much. I will definitely be taught a lesson. Even my mother will have to be taught a lesson. Indeed, in Lu Jing and Yi Hua's hearts, a woman who was worthy of Yi Juetian would definitely be an outstanding woman. And not a woman like this. Yi Juetian pondered for a while, and decided to give the woman a hand. Lying in the middle of the street like this, how bad would his image be? When the time comes, I will see where the problem is and then deal with it. In any case, I am a deity, and I have to bless others, so how can I not save them? Can you still move? Yi Juetian asked lightly. The woman lightly bit her lips, lowered her head, and did not say anything. I am asking you, can you still move? Yi Juetian was speechless. Are you not even going to give face to the emperor? Do you have to be so arrogant? Don't think that I will be moved just because you have good eyes. My big brother is going to introduce an extremely awesome wife to me. The woman slowly nodded her head. Follow me, Yi Juetian said lightly. The woman used a great deal of effort to prop her body up, and she appeared very weak. Just by standing, she felt as if she was going to collapse, as if she had not eaten for many days. Yi Juetian sighed, then walked forward. Meanwhile, the woman behind him limped behind him, and with every step she took, her brows would tightly wrinkle, as if she was in a lot of pain. However, when Yi Juetian, who was walking at the front, turned his head to take a look, he saw that this woman was actually walking so slowly, and when he saw that she was limping, he felt very helpless. With a flick of his finger, a white light shot into the woman's body. This caused the woman to feel much more comfortable. At the very least, she felt much better. When the people in the surroundings saw that the emperor actually saved this woman, they all sighed in admiration at the emperor's kindness. They had originally thought that the emperor was going to chase this woman out. After choosing a high-class restaurant, Yi Juetian walked in, and when the boss saw Yi Juetian, he hurriedly knelt down and kowtowed. Open a room, prepare hot water, and clean clothes, the kind that women wear. This commoner will go and prepare them right away. The boss didn't dare to say anything else and hurriedly went to prepare them. Meanwhile, Yi Juetian actually saw the woman standing outside the restaurant, seemingly not daring to enter. Come in, what are you standing there for? Yi Juetian shouted helplessly. Was there such a stupid woman? The woman raised her head and looked at the restaurant in front of her. She knew that she couldn't afford to stay here, and she would even be beaten up. I told you to come in, did you hear me? Yi Juetian's temper flared, and he had to repeat himself every time. The woman was frightened and could only listen to him. She walked into the restaurant, and the smell that her body gave off caused everyone to frown. Even Yi Juetian frowned. How long had it been since she last bathed? Emperor, everything is prepared. The boss said respectfully. Lead the way. Emperor, please follow this commoner. Yi Juetian brought the woman to the most luxurious guest room. Go and take a bath first, then change your clothes. These are clean clothes. Yi Juetian said calmly. Sometimes, he would glance at the woman's eyes and they were really pretty. The woman stood there and didn't say anything, causing Yi Juetian's head to hurt. Do you want me to help you bathe? The woman shook her head. Then why aren't you going? Yi Juetian said helplessly. The woman bit her lips, took the clean clothes, and walked behind the barrier. Chapter 1066. Yi Juetian sat on the wooden stool outside and waited. He thought to himself that this girl's eyes were really pretty. Not knowing how much time had passed, Yi Juetian felt that he was about to fall asleep. Yi Juetian took a look as if nothing had happened, then lowered his head. Afterward, he suddenly raised his head, and was dumbstruck. Was this the same filthy woman from before? Yi Juetian rubbed his eyes. He couldn't be dreaming, right? Was this girl really that beautiful? She was indeed very beautiful. Up until now, women had always been very sloppy. It was fine if their hair was messy, but even their faces were very dirty. It was impossible to see their original appearance. But now they had all been washed clean and had even put on clean clothes. It was as if they had become another person. At the very least, Yi Juetian was stupefied when he saw this. This woman was really pretty. I was just saying, with such beautiful eyes, how could she be an ugly woman? Yi Juetian hurriedly retracted his evil gaze, as he saw that everyone else was a little scared. At this time, the delicious dishes were served, and the boss personally served them. When he saw the woman, he was stunned. Was this the dirty woman who had just come in? This should be another girl. Your Majesty, please enjoy. Yes. The boss respectfully left the room. The woman looked at the dishes on the table and swallowed her saliva. She seemed to really want to eat, but she needed Yi Juetian's permission first. Don't just stand there, eat. Yi Juetian said softly. Such a great beauty was actually being mocked on the streets. He was truly speechless. The woman was delighted and quickly sat down. She then began to eat in large mouthfuls as if she had been starving for months. Yi Juetian looked at the fair arm of the woman. There were still traces of her being beaten up. How pitiful. What's your name? Yi Juetian asked curiously. The woman immediately stopped eating and raised her head to look at Yi Juetian. Admiring a beauty at such a close distance made Yi Juetian a little surprised. After a long time, the woman did not speak. Yi Juetian asked curiously, Can you speak? Yes, the woman replied. Her voice was very pleasant to the ears, and there was a kind of intoxicating feeling to it. Yi Juetian quite liked women's voices. To be more precise, he quite liked all of them. Just that, their identities. Big brother and mother would never agree. Then what's your name? Yi Juetian asked curiously. My name is... I also don't know, I forgot. The woman said disappointedly. Then what do you remember? What about his family? Where is it? The woman shook her head. She really couldn't remember anything. Yi Juetian immediately sensed the woman's body and discovered that she was an ordinary person. After letting out a light sigh, Yi Juetian said indifferently, "Do you have any plans after eating? You don't want me anymore?" The woman looked at Yi Juetian, her beautiful eyes filled with tears. Yi Juetian was dumbfounded. "When did I say that I wanted you? But you were the one who asked me to follow you. Since I followed you, I am yours. F***ck me. What kind of logic is this? Can't you think normally? I didn't mean that. But when such a beautiful woman looks at you pitifully and says, 'Don't you want me anymore?' He really couldn't bear to reject her. However, am I, Yi Juetian, such a lecherous man? This was obviously not the case. One had to have a good attitude when dealing with such matters. Miss, you misunderstood." As soon as she finished speaking, the chopsticks in the woman's hand fell onto the table. Helpless tears flowed from the corners of her eyes. "Since you don't want me, why do you want me to go with you? Beauty, this logic of yours is too formidable, isn't it? I, Yi Juetian, have learned a lot. Beauty, I think that you really misunderstood. I didn't mean that." After hearing that, the woman slightly lowered her hand and no longer said another word. A desolate atmosphere filled the entire room. Yi Juetian didn't know how to solve this problem. He really wanted to ask Big Brother what he should do when he encounters such a situation. If it was Yi Hua, if he didn't consider marriage, he could play around however he wanted. But if it was marriage, then he had to be cautious. "Where is your family?" The woman shook her head. Yi Juetian had a headache, not knowing how he should choose. On one hand, this woman was indeed the type that he liked, and it wasn't that he couldn't date her. However, here came the problem. She was definitely not the type that his big brother and mother would be satisfied with. "How about I help you find a place to stay first?" Yi Juetian asked. "Do you really not want me anymore?" The woman raised her head and asked again. Not knowing why, Yi Juetian felt that the woman's question was very serious, as if he were to refuse, she would do something stupid. When a person is forced into a desperate situation, they would indeed do stupid things. "I'm really convinced by you. I want you, all right? Can you eat now?" Yi Juetian was convinced. "I didn't expect that I would encounter such a thing today. Being chased by an extremely beautiful woman. However, why do I feel that I'm a little stupid?" "Really?" Yi Juetian nodded his head. The woman revealed out a warm smile that seemed as if it was able to melt the ice and snow outside of Wushu Empire. "Let's eat," Yi Juetian said softly. He wanted to calm this woman down first. "And you eat too. I'm not hungry." "Do you not want me anymore?" Yi Juetian. "I said that I'm not hungry. What does this have to do with whether I want you or not?" In order to calm the woman down, Yi Juetian could only eat a few mouthfuls, while the woman who was sitting opposite of him was smiling very happily. "Did you really forget your name?" "And I don't know." The woman nodded her head seriously. "Then let me help you come up with a name." "Sure. Then I shall call you E." Yi Juetian thought for a while, and felt that this name was pretty good. The woman muttered a few sentences, then revealed out a satisfied smile. "And I shall be called E." "Then what is your name?" "My name is Yi Juetian." "Then why do they call you Emperor?" "What is Emperor?" E asked naively. From the looks of it, she doesn't know anything. Yi Juetian didn't even know how to explain that Emperor is just another form of address. "Oh, then should I call you Ye? Or should I call you Emperor?" "Ye the hell, even mother has never called me that before." "Forget it, just call me Ye." Yi Juetian said helplessly. "And Ye and E are pretty good." E smiled warmly. Yi Juetian took a look at the sky outside. "It's already getting late. It should be time for me to go back. If not, when the time comes, mother will say that I am immature." Just as Yi Juetian finished thinking, Yi Hua's voice transmission rang out in his mind. "Where did you run off to?" Yi Hua asked coldly. Yi Juetian knew that he would find out. "Big brother, I was just strolling around the city." You're tuning in to the Echoes of the Heart YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.